Hey, prods.
Can you believe that we're almost done with this season?
No.
We said this all throughout the last season.
No, but I really can't. This one specifically is flying by. Like, I don't even understand what's happening.
Is it actually shorter?
It feels shorter.
Because I feel like he's cutting so many more women per week, and then we had that double week.
Now, yeah, there was...
Like last week, 7 women went, or something like that.
That's true. I know, it feels... I'm like, come on. Now, do I think this season has been a shit show? For sure. But I'm going to miss it.
Am I ready for it to be over? No.
Exactly. Does it burn my eyes to watch? Yes. Am I ready for it to be over? Absolutely not.
I think they condensed it because there's going to be like after the final rose, after the final rose,
yes.
after
I'm
show.
wondering how many recaps you and I are going to have to be doing, like the quote unquote final week. They're going to be like, surprise, we're airing every single
4-hour finale. And then tomorrow we have a 3-hour post finale.
I think it's going to be 2 days, like 3 hours worth.
I think you're right.
Right? I mean, it has to be. There's so many questions. Also, I feel like the Women Tell All might be a 3-hour episode.
I will hurt someone if that's the case.
I feel like the Women Tell All is going to be...
I'm going to want to poke my eyeballs out with a fork.
Yeah, same. Also,
this is going to be so much worse than Colton's season.
It's going to be so much worse. And remember, we thought Colton's was bad?
I thought it was horrible.
No, this is going to be next level. Now, what's weird is that I've been seeing via social media, all the girls have been so lovey-dovey with each other.
Well, that's all about to change once they're vying for their paradise spots on Women Tell All.
Very true. Very true. Yeah, I don't know.
What is up with that?
I'm so weirded out. I'm seeing, like, I'm not really following many of the girls, but when I'm checking it out, I'm seeing them loving on each other. And I'm like, this is very confusing. You must have worked it out somehow, but it's about to all go to hell. Can you imagine if the Women Tell All was like super peaceful? And
I
like,
would
we're
love
all
it.
fine. We're all friends now.
I would love it.
That would be great. But
I mean, it's just like, they're so, well, did we see a whole lot of people talking shit on each other behind their backs in interviews? Because I felt like maybe we didn't see as much about that.
no, you're right. So
maybe they're
it's
just
all
all
aired.
out there.
They aired it out.
Because that's kind of the worst of watching things back is when you're like, wait, what the fuck?
Very true.
This bitch said that?
Yeah,
about
I
me?
thought we were friends. Oh,
There's no
that's-
pretenses that any of them were friends.
Maybe they're the healthiest group of women the whole time. Turns out they were, at least were honest with each other.
I don't know.
But if it's what I think it's going to be, I'm genuinely nervous to recap it because I feel like it's going to be impossible to take notes because everyone's going to be yelling and talking over each other. Like, we're going to miss, for sure, a million things. And speaking of missing a million things...
Oh my gosh, wait for Sydney on Women Tell All.
Oh, I'm not looking forward. But speaking of missing, I am confident that after tonight's episode, there's going to be a lot of social media tea. So be patient with us if we miss things.
You think so?
Yeah, I do.
About who?
With all this Victoria stuff, I'm pretty confident there's going to be a lot. Speaking of Victoria, did you happen to see her quote unquote apology post
no
2 days ago?
No.
2 days ago,
I'm gonna go look right now.
Oh no, it was on an Insta story.
Oh.
She apologized for the White Lives Matter situation. Mm-hmm. And I found it curious that, number one, she apologizes now. It's been literal weeks, and that stuff came out months ago. And she apologizes now about 48 hours before she knows this episode is going to drop. And it's going to be a whole world of hurt.
Yeah, it's interesting. I'm seeing people comment under her thing, like Tia is like cute and Hannah Ann is like, you look so good.
Yeah, Hannah Ann and Victoria are chatting with each other via social media, which is interesting to me. I don't know. It's so strange. But
the girls must know. I mean, obviously they've got to be all over Reality Steve.
Maybe at this point, the girls who hated Victoria are like, wow, feel real bad for her because she's about to become somehow more villainous than Jed.
Although I thought the tea was going to get spilled hotter this episode than it did. Like, it was so vague. I thought we were literally going to have like people from broken marriages confronting.
Which is what makes me fairly confident that indeed Chris Harrison coming to Peter is going to be about Victoria. It makes me, I feel pretty confident about this. Maybe I'm totally off, but it just feels like it was so vague. We didn't hear any, I don't know. But anyways, but also about Victoria's timing. Yeah. I find it sus that she finally apologizes 2 days before this episode airs. And I heard that she was begging production to not include the conversation between Pete and his ex.
Yeah, I'm sure she would be.
So she knows this episode's about to air. She's panicking. Also,
but what this about all the reality Steve shit? I know. Her?
But you have to think about the fact that yes, there are a ton of us now who have heard about all the reality Steve tea, but there's also so many viewers out there who don't tap into like the social media end of it, who have no idea about Victoria.
We can't avoid it because people are going to message us about like that kind of stuff.
Right.
About people.
But there's plenty of people who have no idea. So she's like, oh shit. And the apology comes after she loses the Cosmo cover. It's just a thought. We all knew about it like 2 months ago.
Yeah, you think she would talk about the White Lives Matter stuff like after the Cosmo cover or like immediately when that happened?
Or when it broke and everyone was talking about it like 2 months ago.
Yeah, but she's probably getting advice of like no one knows about it besides like the real Bachelor fan people. Like don't bring it up.
I don't know.
Because
so sketchy.
Because again, like the percentage of people to viewers that probably even knew about the White Lives Matter thing in the first place, you got to be following Bachelor stuff to know. But then people are like, oh, where's the Cosmo cover?
It's March and we don't see Victoria. So sketchy.
Also, did you see that Glitter and Goose broke up?
I did see that.
After eight months of marriage.
I know. I'm super curious.
Then following.
And I think he took his Instagram down.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because I was trying to find him unless he changed his Instagram name. When I looked on the post that she had tagged of him and it was gone.
And then, or maybe he blocked you.
Me. Oh my God, I hope so.
Oh man. And then also, obviously Kendall and Joe broke up, which I'm super bummed about. Love them both. Yeah. All that. But at this point, I think that Kevin and Astrid the only ones from that season?
I think so.
They're still together?
They're still together, right?
Yeah, they definitely are. I think I follow Astrid. Are they that's the only couple left?
I think maybe. Sad.
Can't remember anyone else.
Actually, all three of those couples, regardless of what you say about Glitter or Goose, I thought it was all gonna go well.
Remember what I said? I said I think they'll either be broken up in like 3 months or they're gonna last forever.
Yeah, I think you doomed that marriage. What? One more housekeeping.
What?
So as this season is coming to a close, we have to know what to do in the in-between time before now.
We're gonna be doing the Bachelor show.
You mean the Listen to Your Heart?
Obviously, we have to.
We have to, but that doesn't start until like April 15th. So we do have like a few weeks.
Too short to cover my
Too short,
season.
You think so? I was going to say.
Because we had talked before, Broads, about recapping Ari's season in between. But now, I don't know if you've heard, which I literally didn't hear until we recently went on Reality Steve's podcast. There's a show called Listen to Your Heart.
The Bachelor,
Listen to Your Heart, which is the worst name
ever. Come on, guys, let's workshop this
a little more. That's not catchy at all.
No, it's too long. It's much too long. So it's going to be contestants who are all musicians vying for love. It's basically going to be like Bachelor Pad, but for people we've never seen before. And
I came up with a better
musicians.
name in like 0.2 seconds.
You really did.
Heartstrings or something?
Heartstrings, incredible. Oy. But, I don't know.
Heart songs. I don't know. Like anything except for Listen to Your Heart. The Bachelor, Listen to Your Heart.
The Bachelor.
But anyway,
Listen to Your Heart.
Basically a bunch of musicians like Jed all on one season of Bachelor Pad, basically.
Yes.
And so we have to recap it.
We'll recap it.
Because Reality Steve thinks that some of the people from that season will be on Paradise.
Yes.
Which...
Oh my gosh. So
is
exciting.
Highly likely. So we're going to have to be talking about these different contestants if that is what's going to happen.
That's very important. So we'll be covering that, and that starts sometime in April.
So, I mean, I don't know. Let us know what you guys think. We could wait, and we could wait till after Paradise, and we could spend a whopping 7 or 8 weeks, or like 6 weeks or whatever, recapping Ari's season, or we could try to water it down to like 3 or 4 weeks. I don't know.
Yeah,
let's get your feedback, or if you have any other harebrained ideas of something we could do in a few weeks. Something
also we do
related.
have for access for almost everyone. We do have Jason Mesnick's season on Netflix, and pretty much everyone can access that. So random, and also
I would cover it.
It's old, so I feel like there's going to be some fun tea to talk about because God knows
that ending.
The ending is wild. The ending is wild. Anyways, come into the Chatty Broads DMs. Let us know. Maybe we'll put a poll up at some point and we can figure out what we're going to do, hear from all of you. But anywho, before we dive into this holy shit episode,
I was shocked.
I was shocked too. Let's talk. Here's the deal. In the last few years, I feel like sustainability has been on the forefront of every brand and consumer's mind, and rightfully so. But let me just say, there is one brand that is doing it so well, and that's ROTHYS. ROTHYS makes the most comfortable shoes in classic styles and fun patterns and colors. And get this. They're made out of recycled plastic water bottles.
Right, and we're not talking a few hundred or even a few thousand water bottles. Try 35 million water bottles. That's crazy. Far. Not only that, but they own and operate their own manufacturing workshops to make sure they're prioritizing sustainability across the entire operation. So there's no unnecessary packaging, there's fair working conditions, and you can feel really good about buying a pair of these shoes. And if you know me, we're trying to eliminate as much unnecessary waste as we can around the house, so this is huge.
Better for the environment and cute. I am sold. I grabbed the sneaker style in black for myself, which I am wearing currently. If you're watching the YouTube, I love the sneaker style. They're so comfy. And of course, I had to get a pair for my 4-year-old daughter, Ember. Not surprisingly, she is obsessed with and chose the flame sneaker style because that girl is fire. But the best part about ROTHYS is I don't have to worry about running around outside in the grass or her jumping in a puddle of mud, which, that's during the 3 days a year in which we get rain in Los Angeles, because ROTHYS are machine washable and they literally come out looking brand new after you take them out of the washing machine. It's pretty amazing.
The best all-in-one pair of shoes that are perfect for a busy life on the go. Go to rothys.com/chatty to check out all of their amazing styles with new colors and patterns launching every week. There's something for everyone. That's rothys.com/chatty.
So, speaking of Los Angeles, I've been living here for 3-something years now. So I've grown accustomed to the unspoken yet 100% acceptable rule that 15 minutes late is considered on time. Yep. But if you show up later than 15 minutes, you're an unprofessional jerk. Traffic, parking, and life are unpredictable. And on top of all that, let's be honest, time just gets away from you occasionally because, well, maybe you're scrolling on Instagram and suddenly you're looking at a picture of your ex-boyfriend's sister's best friend's dog that somehow has more followers than you do. It happens. It happens,
I totally feel that. Life happens, but ever since the team at Vincero sent us some watches, oh my gosh, they're so cute. I was so excited to pick one out. I honestly have not been only more aware of my time management, but also felt so put together and polished because it's pretty hard not to feel put together when you have something as stunning as one of their watches on your wrist. Also, you don't have to be glancing at your phone all the time if you have the time on your arm.
Oh my gosh, that's so true. I didn't even think about that. But these watches are stunning and amazing quality. Don't just take it from us, though. Vincero has over 20,000 5-star reviews on their site. Even better, these watches won't cost you an arm and a leg, but that doesn't mean Vincero skips on the quality. They actually spend, get this, they spend 5 times more on materials and manufacturing per watch than any other direct-to-consumer watch brands.
Wow.
It's crazy. In case that isn't enough of an insurance policy for you, Vincero offers free shipping, 30-day returns, and guarantees your watch for 2 years straight up.
That's
after
a good
ordering.
Guarantee.
Yeah, right? 2 years. After ordering one of these watches, I was truly shocked at the quality. They're no joke. They're so sleek and sexy, and I got Evan one that is all black for Valentine's Day, and my God, it looks good.
So don't overpay for accessories that look cheap and disappoint. This is a piece that you'll actually use and love. Exclusively for our listeners, Vincero's offering an extra 15% off their already affordable watches. Go to vincerowatches.com and use code chatty at checkout. Here's how you spell it. It's VINCERO, Vincero, watches, WATCHES.com, discount code chatty for your 15% off.
Love them. Obsessed with them. All right. Ready?
Yeah.
Let's do this thing. We start off this episode with Hannah Ann's hometown date.
Is it just me, or did she like do a pivot on her personality that she was working on? It's like she's heard the rumors that we say that she is personality-less, and
I don't know. I will say this. This entire episode with all the women, minus Victoria F., surprised me.
Yeah.
Family-wise, it was different than I expected.
Kelsey's family didn't surprise me.
I thought Kelsey's family was going to be maybe a little more of a hot mess.
Well, her mom almost immediately started crying with her. Like, that I expected.
That's true. But I thought it was going to be a little more of like, I thought it was going to be a little wilder. Everything was very tame and very easy for Peter.
Kelsey's didn't surprise me. Victoria's definitely surprised me, which we'll get into that.
Okay, I wasn't surprised by Victoria.
In her family?
Oh, the family for sure, but we don't really get to see her family.
But just like the way her family was interacting, I was like, wait, these people seem super fucking normal.
I know.
Like they remind me of my family.
And then when they were comforting her after.
They were the most normal family, actually, out of all of them, in my opinion.
Really? I feel like everyone was really normal. That's the thing.
Yeah, they were. I'm saying like the most. Victoria, actually, I thought this while watching. Like she seemed the most likely that she would just be one of my friends. Like, not that I would go out of my way to be friends with her. Like, I can just see her naturally, like, in a friend group that I would be in.
Yeah.
I don't know if that makes sense. Well, and then her family, I was like, they just seem super normal.
When Victoria's not being Victoria-ish, like I've said before, there is something. I get why he's drawn to her because she's funny and fun and whatever, but then she, goes absolutely sideways. So yes, Hannah Ann.
We're in Knoxville.
She's
dressed like she's about to release her first country hit single in 2011.
Hannah Ann loves a peasant top with jeans. She lives for that look. Always. She
always looks cute.
I also had heard that Hannah Ann was supposed to be the villain this season, which is why they did so many modeling dates. Like they were expecting that she was going to be one of the villains.
We were expecting it too.
Yeah. And so they kept throwing modeling dates at her to like try to stir the pot, funny. But she rose above.
Okay.
So props to Hannah Ann. So their date,
they have a whole audience watching them throw axes.
A whole audience. And Hannah Ann tells...
Who are these people?
I don't know.
Like, that's not normally a date where you'd have all these people around, like, screaming at you and cheering you on.
So much pressure. Oh, my God. So much pressure.
This is a liability. Those axes were flying everywhere.
Yes. It was wild.
Did you see them bouncing off, like, 15 feet backwards towards them? I was like, oh, my gosh, stop.
A cameraman's going to lose an eye. This is insane.
Got this thin netting between them and the crowd.
It seems like this should be glass, but okay. So... Hannah, she tells Peter, though, first of all, that she's going to make a real man out of him because she says her dad has always said he needs a tough guy. I'm like...
Okay, then why are you dating this dude from Westlake Village?
I just was so excited for him to meet Peter because I was like, I feel like your dad is not going to be thrilled if he wants a woodsman. But... so they're throwing. I feel bad because Peter is struggle city, and to be fair, I would have struggled like nobody's business.
She was struggling too. Like these axes are just not.
They're not easy. But then he chops that wood to prove himself through feats of strength at the end.
Yes. Well, and then can we talk about their jump hug makeout in front of the whole crowd?
Yeah.
This date was so weird to me.
It was very weird. The two of them, I get why they like each other.
I don't understand who she is at her core.
Yes, I don't get her. I also don't. I get why they both like each other, but I don't feel like any actual chemistry between them.
No, I agree.
In comparison to some of the other girls, I just feel like he looks at her and is like, I should really, really like her. And she's like, I should really, really like him. But there seems to be something missing.
I completely agree with
right?
that. Yes.
He then writes Hannah Ann a letter.
A list.
A list. He reciprocates. And I did notice her hands were shaking when he was reading this, which was very sweet. But did you read?
Yes.
Okay.
I didn't write them down though, but I took note.
I took a couple notes. Of course, number 5, he says out loud, and he says that you have a name for every dress you've worn. And I'm like, is this like a name that she names, or Peter, is that just the name that Revolve gave the dress and she just continues? This is
the Janessa style.
This is the Hannah G.
Wait.
He says it really briefly. And
I like somehow didn't catch that.
And we're like,
you have a name for every one of your dresses?
The world needs to know. I'm begging you, Hannah Ann, please make an Insta story where you give us the name of every dress. And what are these names? Because now
she's such a Tory. This one, she's more, that's weird.
It's very weird.
Who personifies their pieces of clothing?
I mean, I don't know. But
I can't get attached to them. I get rid of my clothes too fast. I can't get too attached.
Like, they can't have a personality.
No. How am I ever going to get rid of them then?
And then number 6 he wrote on his list is your eyes, and how they are one of the most beautiful things I've ever seen. And they skip over him reading that part because we all know that she has beautiful eyes. And she's like, why wasn't that number 1?
Yeah.
Come on, Peter. He calls them the clumsy 2. So I guess she's a little clumsy one as well, which I haven't picked up on at all.
They're the most boring couple ever. Straight up. Was it just me, or did her southern accent seem like it was like played up? Not played up, but like, had she been downplaying it for the past weeks? Suddenly, I was like, wow, Hannah Ann has a super southern accent.
Well, you know how sometimes people are, depending on whatever their location is. I do that. It's super embarrassing.
Well, it's her hometown, so I can see her slipping. But I was just like, suddenly
I'm like very embarrassing. Like if I go to England for a week, I'm one of those ones that because I'm super auditory, I start having a little bit of a thing, and it's really embarrassing. I know.
I'm not doing international travel with you because my mom is like that too, and it drives me nuts.
Nobody wants to internationally travel with me. I start to get every sort of accent.
My mom is so like that, and she'll also like pick up little words, and start
also being like flat.
It's so cringe.
Like, I'm like, I was in London town for a week, and now I call my apartment my flat.
No, she'll do it like we'll be in Spain or something, and then she'll be like, Can I get a, and she'll have like a little bit of a weird accent. And then she'll say like the Spanish word for soda. And I'm just like, stop. Like you are the whitest bitch ever. Just stop.
Every time it comes out of my mouth, I regret it. And then I'm like, but I'm not going to acknowledge it because then maybe someone didn't notice that I said something with an accent. Just don't engage.
Well, I'd actually love to see you spend 2 weeks in Knoxville.
Oh, I would have a strong Southern drawl.
Oh my God.
So we meet Hannah Ann's family. I am thrown off because I expected these robotic AI that we saw in the preview when we initially decided that Hannah Ann most likely has someone buried under her home. And I didn't get that energy from this family.
No, but they did seem staged, like her dad's fleece vest with the button-up collared shirt underneath.
Definitely.
Predictable.
It was predictable. I mean, he does work with wood. So
the fleece vest over the button-up, it's like a suit shirt.
It was very sweet.
With the fleece vest over it.
It was
that sweet. Is the outfit he chose for TV.
Because he doesn't give a shit because he doesn't believe in this process.
No, I like to think that he gives a shit, and that was his outfit. That was him giving a shit. He's like, I'm going to wear my Sunday best.
That was his like 100.
Yes.
We'll talk about him.
Okay. Well, they all start sobbing when she comes in.
Her mom is bawling the second she sees Hannah Ann, which is surprising to me again because Hannah Ann has not been emotional, hence Peter's conversation with her. So I was expecting her family to maybe be that way. And it does not appear that at least her mama and her sisters, or her sister, excuse me.
Well, on a real note, from the beginning of the date, she seemed a lot less closed off than she had in the past. So I think she's in her element. She's in her hometown. She's back with her family, and she's a little more comfortable, it seems, in her skin.
And her sister is a smoke show who was wearing an actual star on a chain for a necklace because, yes, it was the actual size of a star because it was that big.
I am convinced that she was an extra on Hannah Montana. That is what that whole outfit was screaming.
When they united and your Hannah Ann being 14-year-old theory, and I then saw the sister and what was happening clothes-wise, I was like, oh, They're about a year apart. One's 14, one's 13. And here it is. They definitely Disney Channel stars.
Guys, by the way, people were giving me shit because they were like, everyone probably thought you looked 14. I'm like, oh, no. I'm not saying 14 only because she looks 14. I'm saying she's 14 because she dots her I's with hearts. She has names for her dresses. Need I go on?
That's it.
Her and her sister both look like they dress like Disney Channel stars.
Also, Hannah Ann posted that, was it a TikTok?
Stop.
If you guys haven't seen it.
Don't. It is the cringiest thing I've ever seen.
No, she's saying, oh, I guess if I act like a child, and she's pretending to skip around the grocery store.
And she's like, I love Danimals. Oh my God, it's so cringy.
People thought that was in response to you. I think that's in response to Kelly calling her a child.
I think literally everyone in America is calling her a child.
I think we're all saying that.
Isn't everyone saying that?
Because she looks young and she dots her eyes with hearts. That's all.
We call them like we see them, 14-year-olds.
Also, what's wrong with 14-year-olds? My daughter's 4. She'll be 14 soon. I'm going to love her. I love a 14-year-old. That sounds weird, but you know what I mean.
Yeah. Are they ready for marriage?
I'm going to say it's going to probably be no. I don't even want to go there. Okay.
Well, can we talk about how Peter, when he saw the family crying, he goes, seeing the emotion in her family is a good sign.
Oh, he has a hard on because you know how he feels about an emotional family. He's like, is Hannah Ann a little closed off emotionally? Yes, but her family, they're very emotional. This is a good sign. It's like most guys in their toolishness, when they meet a family, they're like, is the mom hot still? Because then I'm going to be down dating the daughter. Peter's just looking for the most emotional family. Is anyone crying? That's my turn on. Is the mom crying a lot? I'm going to go with her.
I'm also like, how is being emotional like necessarily a good sign? Like,
I know.
If I don't cry when I see my mom after 5 weeks, it's not that fucking long. And we don't cry when we see each other. Is that a bad sign?
I don't think my mom's ever looked at me once and cried, and she's a wonderful mother. No, boy. I'd be bawling, granted, because that's just how I am. But homegirl would just be stiff as a board. Mm-hmm. But everyone's crying. But her dad, when they're all sitting together, he does not crack a smile the entire time. And you hear Hannah Ann's mom trying to include him when they're talking about the wood, they're the axe throwing. And she's like, oh my God, you would have loved that. You would have loved that. And Peter then goes, I chopped a log in 1 second. 1 second. He's like yelling this, declaring that he's a real man.
Hannah Ann's dad is like unimpressed.
Let's ignore the 23 axe throws he missed, but he's going to make sure that he lets him know that he actually chopped wood. He's just like, hey, Rick, did you see my scar? Pretty cool, right? Pretty manly. Check it out.
I'm a pretty manly guy. Okay, we need to get into her conversation with her sis, because I felt like I was watching a low budget sitcom scene with the camera angles back and forth. Did you? How weird was that scene?
It was
what was happening?
It was cut very strange, very strange.
But also they're in dynamics. Oh, come on, that was just so weird.
I know. I thought that they were super cute.
They were, yes,
super
if you're 14
cute,
and
but
13.
It definitely was a 13, 14-year-old energy.
Sweet sister bond, for sure. But they sit down, her sister's like, so, do you love him? How cute do you think he is on a scale of 1 to 10? Did he kiss you?
Have you gotten to first base?
Yeah. I was like, what the fuck is this?
Well, she asks if she loves him. And then when she's right away tells her sister about the list, she's like, Hannah, if a guy writes down 20 reasons why he loves you, he loves you. Yeah. And I was like, let's not take advice from the other 14-year-old because... Once upon a time, I know personally, I've had some dude write down 10 things he liked about me. He just wanted to get laid. He didn't love me.
Jess, if a guy writes down things he likes about you in a letter to you, you marry him. That is some notebook shit.
Did you see the paper he used? That looks like he took time. He ripped that out of a notebook.
His handwriting is so good.
Oh my God, I am so turned on by good handwriting. Let's talk about that. Love when a guy has sexy handwriting.
Oh my gosh.
They're now both crying because they're finding out that you know, they mutually love each other and both of their eyes are glistening.
Part of that was kind of cute. So these are some of the parts where I was like, oh, like Hannah Ann does love her family, and like she is like a real person, and even though she's still very flat dimensionally, I was like, okay, we're seeing more of her than the robot.
I really came into liking Hannah Ann more during this episode. Yeah. Does she confuse me? Yes. Do I agree with your 14-year-old analysis? Yes. But I think...
Should she marry Peter? Absolutely
no.
not.
But I think she's adorable, and I think her sister's adorable, and her mom, and I do actually really I love her dad too.
Yeah.
So then Peter sits down with Hannah Ann's mom, and he tells her mom that Hannah has expressed falling for him, and he feels the same way.
He's falling in love. Did you see his mom's face when she's...
yeah.
She's like...
She's kind of shook.
Well, and then her thing about, oh, my husband's not going to just give her away until...
My body quakes every single... my body quakes every single Bachelor when the term... it's always referred to the father as giving... the daughters away. I understand, you know, the area, maybe it just hurts my body. And I know it's all good intent, but I'm just like,
I think it's super weird.
But like, she's not livestock now. So like, you know,
well, like to give something away, it has to be yours first.
Exactly. I'm like, what about autonomy? What about autonomy? Hannah Ann, is she 14? Yes, but she is her own person. Okay.
Yeah.
But it was with everyone in these families too, even though those terms were thrown around, I do feel like the parents did a good job about it not being so heavy like I've seen it in other seasons.
Oh, about the blessing.
Exactly.
Yeah. I actually noticed that too. I didn't see so much of like, I've got to get her parents' permission. It also might just be, it might have to do a little bit with Peter's perspective. And I don't see Peter being exactly the type of guy who's going to be like, I need her parents' approval before I can propose.
He didn't ask for the approval or the blessings.
Whereas, you know, like Colton's maybe a little more traditional on that front. Mm-hmm. I'm trying to think who else in past seasons would maybe a little bit more traditional.
I feel like everyone's asked for the blessing.
Totally. But I feel like, remember Colton, or someone in the past couple seasons who was just like, I cannot propose unless I get like her parents' approval.
Yeah.
I'm just like, okay, but like, why?
But like, we're all grown-ups, I think, here. Well,
also, like, why are you going to expect to get someone's approval the first time you're meeting them? That's just dumb. Just like, they'll come around,
I know,
buddy.
But I do, like I said, that giving away just always hurts my body when I hear it. But I do have to give it up for the families this season where they were putting it in their daughter's court. They weren't making it like he better get my approval. It was very much like I don't necessarily approve, but it's her choice. And I made note of that. And I was like, okay. All right, guys. All right.
Okay.
But because I loved how the mom said too, she was like, for me as a mom, as long as Hannah Ann is happy and moving forward, I'm going to support her.
Yeah.
You know?
But she said, but her dad, I'm not so sure.
Well, yeah, she said she's the oldest and the first girl. Her dad's going to need to hear this. He's not just going to give her away to anyone. And
so I'm like, what? The second daughter is just chopped liver?
You know, Star Girl, the girl with the star necklace. He doesn't give a shit about her.
Hannah is the real valuable one in the family.
The firstborn.
Hannah, we see going places. Now,
her
what's
sister?
Her name over there?
We're not sure. So Peter,
I actually thought though that like so yeah. I don't know if sorry. Were you about to say he goes talks with her dad?
Yeah.
I felt like her dad was. I felt like he was pretty fair in all of it. And like the questions he was asking were pretty fair. He's like, so, well, like, how do you feel about the other women compared to Hannah Ann? Like,
great questions.
Do you like them more? Or you fall in love with them more? And then he's like, you know, don't say that. And then Peter says that he's falling in love with her. And he's like, I ask you as a father to not say that to her unless you're sure of how you feel about her. I was like, that's totally fair.
I feel like what her dad said to him was completely fair. And I think it was very wise too.
I also thought it was like, sometimes the whole protecting your daughter thing can get a little weird, but I actually thought that was the sweet side of it, where he's like, don't tell my fucking daughter something that you don't really mean and break her heart.
Exactly. And it wasn't like protective dad, where it was like, don't take my daughter's flower from her. I've got a gun. Yeah. Like, I got a gun. Or like, what are the fantasy suites going to look like when you have 3 women there? And like, are you going to be with the other women?
No, he literally say what you mean.
Yeah, please.
Or mean what you say. I mean,
and especially if Hannah Ann has not, at least from, her words to Peter, has never been in love with someone before, her dad probably realizes that like hearing from someone that he's in love with her is going to make a big impact. So please don't say that. Don't say that tonight and then ditch my daughter.
Yeah.
Because that is going to make it twice as heartbreaking.
Yeah. Well, Peter turns around from that conversation and is basically like, fuck it. I'm balling out.
I was literally screaming, where he goes, I hear your concerns, sir, and I will take those to heart. Cut to him telling Hannah.
He's like, bitch, I love you.
I love you so hard, girl. I could not believe how quickly. Did you hear her dad, by the way, when she was saying goodbye to everybody?
What?
He just kind of grabs her and he goes, careful. I was like, oh shit, Papa Rick.
Papa Rick's coming hot. I was also not sure if he was saying, don't say that to her unless you're sure that you are falling in love with her, or don't say you're falling in love with her unless you're sure you want her to be your wife. Because I think that might have been actually more of what he was saying.
Oh, that's kind of intense.
He's like, don't say some shit unless you're committing.
That's a little heavy.
But also, like, I think that if you're in that situation, it's sort of fair. Like, don't say you're in love with me or you love her or whatever when you've got 3 other side chicks you're considering marrying.
Oh,
like,
this is... We've talked about this before, but this has even nothing to do with the father. As a mother, if I know the situation that's going on, you better believe that I'd be like, Peter, please do not tell my daughter that you are in love with her and then leave her in a week when you decide that you liked having sex with the other 2 girls in the fantasy suite more. Because that's just going to make this whole process a lot harder and stickier.
Yep.
Like, do what you're going to do. Pick her. Whatever, move forward together.
But don't toy with her heart.
But please don't just, don't say that maybe yet. Say that you like her, but you don't have to necessarily tell her that you're falling in love with her.
Well, if I have this right, Peter says he's falling, but then she says she's in love. So he's still falling, but she's in love.
Still falling.
But then 20 seconds later, she loves him.
Yes.
Oh boy.
Oh yes. And
they hit all 3 levels.
They are making out and he's just saying, oh my God, when he was just like, say it again. Oh my God.
I was like, please stop.
I was like, no, don't, please.
Grayson was like, what a weirdo. Yeah, stop.
Oh my God.
Say you're in love with me again.
And she just kept saying, I love you. I'm in love with you. Blah, blah, blah. And that was the moment. I will say that was the only moment that I was like, okay, chemistry. Maybe now that she said I'm in love with you, he's going to be like, let's take this to the fantasy suite, because families like, and being told I'm in love.
Check.
Families and being told that you love me is my biggest turn on.
Oh my God.
I just feel like after seeing her whole family dynamic, seeing Hannah Ann, I wholeheartedly believe that she is not complicated enough for Peter. And I don't mean that in a way of like shading her. I mean like...
Which is saying a lot, because I don't think he's the most complicated guy out there.
No, I don't think he is either, but I think he likes complicated.
No, I agree. It's yeah. I get what you're saying, and I completely agree.
So that's why part of me, even with this whole add-on with Madison and what he's now finding out, part of me almost thinks, does this add to complications for him? Is he going to be now into that because it's complicated?
He's a romantic in the sense that he believes fundamentally, and I think his mom does too, in this hopeless romantic way that like you've got to overcome barriers together. You've got to have, which is probably the reason why he's still with Victoria. You've got to have something to overcome to bring you closer together.
Mm-hmm. Not necessarily the best advice, but here we are.
Here we are. All right, before we get into Kelsey,
let's just be honest here, broads. Bra buying can be overwhelming and confusing, which means most of us aren't wearing the correct size bra. I think I may still be scarred from that first bra fitting of my young teenage years in a heavily perfumed, very dimly lit department store. You may know which one I'm talking about. So until this last year, I had been playing a fun guessing game of what's my actual size. And then I discovered Third Love.
Yes, Third Love makes bra buying so easy with their Fit Finder quiz, and it takes less than 60 seconds. You answer a few fun questions that I, for one, didn't know even affected your bra size, like breast shape and height. And after you're finished, they show you your personalized fit and style recommendations based on your results, and they make the whole process so easy. Their bras are extremely comfortable, and there's an option for every occasion. They've got nursing bras, lounge bras, everyday bras. It's literally a one-stop shop, and their sizing is so inclusive. They've got over 80 bra sizes, including half-cup sizes.
Ugh, love my half-cup size. Not only are Third Love's bras all gorgeous and high quality, they are committed as a company to giving back. So if you're not happy with your bra, you have 60 days to return it, and Third Love will donate it, wash it, and donate to a woman in need in partnership with charities all over the United States.
Third Love knows there's a perfect bra for everyone, so right now they're offering our listeners 15% off their first order. Go to thirdlove.com/chatty now, take the Fit Finder quiz, and find your perfect fitting bra. That's thirdlove.com/chatty for 15% off today.
So then we have Kelsey's hometown date. Mm-hmm. And I want to say, first of all, hey, Iowa, you're looking gorgeous.
Yeah.
Where's their PR? You know, I feel like we have a lot of Iowa broads out here.
Wait, where were they in the first time?
Huh?
Where were they? The place they went to?
Cleveland?
Cleveland, okay.
Iowa needs some of that PR.
Iowa. I literally thought she lived in the same state. Sorry to you, Iowans.
Iowa,
Ohioans.
and it's looking beautiful.
Ohioans?
Iowans?
No, Iowans, but what about Ohio?
Ohioans?
I think that's a Pacific Islander thing.
Yeah, that sounds more Pacific Islander. I'm not sure.
Anyway, she's an Iowan.
And they stomp grapes to make their own bottle of wine.
Her favorite thing, wine-related activities.
Girl, you know that there was a piece of me that was just screaming, like, come on, production. Like, you're having Tammy yell at her that she's an alcoholic 2 weeks ago, and then you're having her do a wine date.
My favorite thing.
I was like, come on.
Also, they were stomping regular-ass grapes from Safeway.
I legitimately wrote down is all I need to know is that those grapes weren't from the vineyard and that PAs ran out to grab a bunch of grapes at Ralph's. Yes, because those were not wine grapes. Those were not
us
wine
bougie
grapes.
bitches. No, I'm like
wine grapes are a little smaller. They're typically darker,
much smaller.
Those were steroid grapes, okay?
Big ass green grapes.
Those were grapes that were pumped with all sorts of steroids. They were gigantic. They did not look like they were squishing very easily. And it did look like a fun date,
I'm like, is this even a vineyard? Because then they go into test and they give them wine in beakers.
Yes.
Why was the wine in beakers? Please tell me you saw that and you were like...
Sorry. I said I wrote it down. I said wine beaker ? I
felt like they were trying to make it like, we make wine here, so like this is before it's bottled or something. I'm like, when I've gone wine tasting, this shit's still in bottles.
I'm like, why are you in a laboratory?
Did this come from a barrel, or is this literally like Franzia on tap in the back room that you're pouring into beakers?
Oh my God. I would have worshipped the ground she walked on if just to do a middle finger to everyone, she just would have chugged the entire beaker just to be like, oh, what does that taste like? Be like, not bad.
I mean, are there vineyards in Iowa?
I feel like probably, huh? There's a lot of land. I mean, I'm talking about my ass. I have no idea.
I'm being a bougie California bitch right now and being like, I've gone wine tasting. I've stomped grapes. I live in fucking California. And I don't think they're making any wine.
That vineyard looked gorgeous when they were making out later in it. So that vineyard
forgot about that. There was an actual vineyard. Yeah. All right. Never mind.
Now, did they take them to a laboratory to mix it up? For sure.
Was this like, in the back room of their stock room? They're like, I guess, like beakers?
Okay. So...
Why didn't they make them stomp the grapes that maybe they weren't in season? I'm like, why aren't they stomping actual grapes from the vineyard?
I don't know. Ralph's offered better ones, apparently.
I have questions.
Now, Peter chooses to potentially name their original wine they made together wine. Did you hear this moment? They're like, what are we going to call it? And Kelsey's like, I'll let you choose. And Peter goes, let's just call it wine. And I was like,
now with an H, kind of like that. Kind of fits Kelsey.
Or I thought, if it's just W-I-N, is it the stupidest thing I've ever heard? Are our marketing broads screaming
Without
at the TV?
E.
Or if they actually just spell it wine correctly, is it genius?
What just about W-Y-N? No, that's more like the win.
But it definitely reminded me of Ari when you asked Ari, what was the exact question? What's something that excites you?
What makes you excited to be alive?
And he said...
excitement.
Uh-huh. It was definitely giving me that energy.
Now, I could see a wine label called wine with like some little umlaut and like some a very hipster kind of thing. And you're like, ooh.
It's a little like,
a hit.
It's a little Zoolander-esque. Like, this is the wine and we call it wine.
Like something they're going to serve you at a really fancy restaurant.
Right. And there's actually one drop left in the bottle and it only comes with one drop in it. And it's like, it's so exclusive that you just stick your tongue out. We put it on with a tiny beaker. And it's just called wine.
That's kind of sick.
It is kind of dope now that I think about it. All right, never mind. I changed my mind. But they ended up going...
Does he have that kind of self-awareness? No.
No. Because they end up going with a label that's just called Peter and Kelsey instead. So they name their wine Peter and Kelsey.
I'm like, I would never buy that bottle at the store, unlike what both of you are saying right now.
Peter and Kelsey? Doesn't have as good of a ring to it
now,
on a shelf.
Peter Kelsey actually sounds kind of...
Oh.
Fancy.
He sounds quite wealthy.
Doesn't he?
Wealthy Iowan.
Peter Kelsey. Now, he says at one point, I truly feel like I can never get enough of Kelsey. And I'm like, I don't see that, but I'll take your word for it.
I would say that's probably a lie because you did get rid of her. So if you've never had enough of her, it seems like you've chosen that you actually feel like maybe you've had enough.
I was just questioning, like, is he truly attracted to her?
I had a moment where I thought, Kelsey always sounds so bored when she isn't yelling. Maybe that's what draws him to her. Like, she's bored with me. I like it.
Okay. But, although she always makes it clear that she's willing to die for him at any given moment.
Yes, she does remind him on this date that she tells him now that she is in love with him.
Which, that whole scene felt really awkward. It seemed like strange timing. And he doesn't say shit back.
And it reminded me that we didn't touch on this last week, that he didn't respond to her with that. But then he tells Maddie last week that he is falling in love with her, and then Maddie didn't respond back to that. So, but yeah, he doesn't say anything back. And I'm really glad he didn't, knowing that he was going to eventually get rid of her.
He knew he was about to dump her.
But I am really glad that he didn't say I'm falling in love with you too.
And I honestly think he knew that she was going to go. I think he wants to fuck the other three women more.
I think that's what it is too. I think that's why he kept Victoria. I think he just wants to have sex with Victoria.
And also that dramatic story to overcome between the two of them.
That's very true.
The odds weren't in their favor, but
climb that mountain, guys. Climb that mountain.
Okay, well, we go to Kelsey's nice ass family house.
I mean, my goodness, damn. I have to say that about all Victoria's. I don't quite remember. I think it was like a normal size. I don't want to say normal size house. I don't know. But it seemed typical upper middle class. But the other three girls had some pretty slamming houses.
Like, sorry, didn't know all your dads are senators or something.
Didn't know y'all were rich. And her sisters and her mother, they are all identical. They all go to the exact same hairstylist.
Cassie's family. Remember when we said everyone looked like Cassie? No, everyone really looked like Kelsey.
They have to go to the exact same hairstylist.
I think they have the same hair. I felt like they were all wearing wigs made of the same person's hair.
Maybe that's what was actually happening. You know how when you go to someone's bachelorette party, you all wear wigs together? Maybe they're like, oh, this is Kelsey's special moment. We're all going to wear Kelsey's wig to support her.
That's literally what it looked like. I was like, the highlights were in the exact same spot of the hair and everything.
When they had their backs facing the camera, you're like, I have no idea where Kelsey begins and her mom ends. They're 100%. all one unit. I'm not sure.
Crab Rangoon. Which, what the fuck even is that?
I don't know.
Crab Rangoon.
Peter has bursts. Once an episode, he screams something God. It's also typically about food. Last episode, it was his grandma's old recipe with Natasha. Now it's crab rangoon.
He was going to town with vegetarian Victoria.
He screamed about the meat,
swallowing the ribs whole. Like, doesn't give a fuck that she doesn't eat meat.
Doesn't care at all. Does not care at all. He shits himself over the crab ragoon.
Is it Rangoon? Ragoon?
I don't crab even know ragoon. Ragoon? I think. He then feeds her in front of her family, which made me feel very uncomfortable.
Ew, I don't care if I've been married 20 years. I'd be like, don't fucking feed me in front of my
family. If Evan tried to feed me in front of my family, I would be so upset. I'd be like, what's wrong with you? Stop.
Food play.
Food play.
He's like, let's actually put a crab leg between our mouths and just start.
He's like, I'm loving how much your family loves you. So let's do my most favorite thing in front of them. Doubly turned on. I wanted to say that I was living for Mom being at the head of the table, giving the toast. I don't feel like we've seen this for a while. And it was really lovely this episode that you kind of had a nod to all different types of families because she, you're in a single mom household for a while. I don't know when obviously the stepdad came into the picture, but it was really lovely to see I don't know. I thought it was lovely. And then Peter toasted at the family dinner, which would have been a huge check to me. If I would have been a parent, and I toast, and then Peter comes in and is like, I'd like to make a toast. I'd be like, all right. I enjoy that. I like some confidence.
I'd like to make a toast. To me.
To my journey. I'm gonna dump your I'm gonna dump
Cheers
your daughter.
Me fighting my wife whether or not she's at this table. Can I get an amen?
I'm gonna dump your daughter in 72 hours because I want to have sex more with the other 3, but you all seem very lovely. You have the same hair and this crab ragoon is fantastic.
Cheers to you all. I'll never see your goddamn faces again.
And then when Peter talks to Kelsey's mom, his mom or her mom definitely confirms that Kelsey, she right away says, Kelsey gives her emotions right away. Have you seen this?
No, have you noticed?
No one on the season's noticed at all.
It's impossible not to, Mama Kelsey.
And her mom is genuinely shocked that he's here today because I think she said something about her not giving her heart away super quickly. And I mean, that makes sense to me. I feel like everything we've seen about Kelsey is we do see her super emotional on this season, but she also definitely seems like she does have a wall up. And when she lets someone in, she really gives them everything, which was heartbreaking to me that he then sent her home. Because I'll stand by the fact that I believe that she was maybe one of the only 2 that truly does love him.
True.
It means it with every fiber of her being.
So
Kelsey then talks with her stepdad, which again is another moment like when her mom gave the toast that I love this, seeing different types of families, because I really, really loved this moment with her stepdad because it did remind me of, let's just say I would have done this, a moment like with me and that I would have had with my stepmom. I love my stepmom, and like her stepdad in this, he was super supportive, but he didn't overstep his bounds at all. He was definitely he was taking a step back. He was asking her questions, being a listening ear, loving his stepdaughter, but so not like grilling Peter, letting the mama take charge.
Yeah.
I thought it was just a really healthy, lovely dynamic.
Real quick, I didn't insert this about Peter's conversation with his mom. 1 LOL. Peter said, I've never had any question of how she feels for me. I'm like, yeah, well, that's, yes, same. But then did you catch her mom saying, nobody's ever done this, Peter? And I'm like, wait, no one's come to your house for dinner or that she's dated?
That was a weird, because
nobody's ever done what?
That's weird because her sisters said that she hasn't brought a guy to the house in 2 years.
What was her mom referencing? Nobody's ever done. She goes, nobody's ever done this, Peter.
I don't know. Taken her daughter on a reality TV show and showed up with a camera crew?
Nobody's ever dated 3 other women openly with Kelsey knowing.
This is new for us.
We love the transparency.
Oh my God.
Yeah, well, the stepdad convo, you were right. That was great. And
I just thought it was so nice.
Yes.
You know, I'm trying to think. I don't remember the last step parent. I think, you know what? Was it Hannah G?
Kaylin.
Kaylin. Oh, yeah. And he was so sweet, but there was that interesting dynamic that we talked about, him being shocked that she loves him. And then I think it was Hannah G, maybe, or maybe it was just that single mom with Hannah G. But anyways, point is that I thought it was lovely, and I thought he handled it very beautifully. And it's so nice to see that regardless of what her mom went through, that it seems like she has a lovely, happy household. Made my heart warm.
We'll see what happens when she drops that bomb that she's talking to her dad again.
I was thinking about it the whole time. Also, thank you, ABC Production, for not setting her up.
Making that a thing
and making it a thing.
Real.
Yeah, because we were convinced that they were going to exploit that. And so ABC, thank you, because that's overstepping.
Maybe if they knew she was going to get farther.
Probably.
Fucked up. But, well, with the conversation with her mom, they both immediately start crying within 0.2 seconds.
Immediately. And the mom asks, what she loves about him. And she talks about how she's been 100% herself with him. He's accepted the good and the bad, all the crying, which has been true. And I can imagine actually if I was in Kelsey's shoes that I probably would have fallen head over heels for Peter too, because when all the other girls are teaming up on you and he continues to believe you, she's been through 3 of those situations in the house. And yet Peter's never made her feel not accepted.
She could have gone it so many times. She could have been out the door.
Exactly. There were, I think, maybe 3 times that I thought that Peter was going to send her home because of all the drama that was happening in the house.
Playing with fire. Not intentionally, but holy shit. She came so close so many times.
So many times. And yet every single time Peter was like...
She looked so bad with Hannah, remember?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, geez.
So I get why she's fallen in love with Peter. I'm like, he doesn't... Whatever I do, he loves me. He accepts all the parts of me.
Well, I know. Didn't you say this too, though? She seems like the kind of girl, if someone really likes her back, she's like, I'm in.
Mm-hmm.
I think she could do better for herself. Not that Peter isn't the best, but I think I hope someday she finds someone that fits a little better with her.
Yeah, me too. I don't think she's going to be on Paradise. Do you? I don't think they're going to cast. You think she's going to be on Paradise? Okay. I don't feel like they're going to cast her for Paradise.
That's kind of like a ticket in.
Yeah. Compared to the other girls, though, she hasn't gotten that many followers.
But doesn't matter. She's fallen apart so many times and has been the center of so much drama.
Very true. Very true.
There's been something about her.
Her and Hannah Ann have made up. Clearly, they're now besties.
Don't worry. She's going to be the sobbing Annalise.
True.
I love Annalise too, and I love Kelsey. But, it's this. Of course she's going to be on Paradise.
Yeah, yeah. Well,
and I hope she finds someone. Oh, man, you know what? Oh, fuck. I can see her having a similar storyline to Annalise where she's with a guy.
She never finds anybody.
And he breaks up with her or something.
Remember I really hope not.
Oh, jeez. Yeah. Terrible. Well, so she says she's falling in love. Peter says the most non-committal answer, which is my heart is definitely falling.
My heart is
not even he's falling. He just distanced himself from his heart.
You know what's fun though? Now we have 3 layers on Bachelor.
Yeah.
We have my heart is falling. I'm falling in love.
I'm in love. And I love you.
Yes.
Wow. I've got to keep
Complex.
up. I've got to keep up.
I need a chart for this.
Grayson, what level am I on? Is your heart falling? Is your heart in love? Can your heart be in love, but you're not in love?
Oh, that's a good...
Is that in between falling and I'm in love, or is it back further? Don't know.
Oh, man. Well, who he definitely, it seems very clear to me, is in love with is Madison. He is in love with Madison. I mean, my goodness. And Madison...
She's most wifey out of all of them.
She's definitely most wifey. Also, though, I will say Madison seems over the moon about him. She seems like she really enjoys him. But I could also see her being the type of person, regardless of the whole not having sex, just her being one of those people that he proposes to, and then she's like, I'll be your girlfriend, but I'm not ready to accept this proposal. Because she seems like a pretty logical person. Mm-hmm. She hasn't let the drama kind of get to her. She seems to be taking this in stride.
And Christianity aside, I think she's understanding the weight of the situation, which doesn't have anything really to do with religion, but like, yeah, no, this is like these are pretty big steps. So like say you're in love with someone.
Yeah, so maybe I don't want to accept your proposal.
Maybe I'm not in love with you yet.
Maybe I'm not in love, but I definitely want to be with you, so let's date.
Yep.
Or court. That's the word. So Madison... Oh my God, when Madison is showing Peter how to do the War Eagle, it is literally making his dreams come true. You know, Peter watched movies growing up, wishing he lived in a small town and like met the love of his life across the room in like at the quad.
I'm sure
he's
he
like, I wish I didn't live in LA.
I'm sure he auditioned for plenty of movies where that was the
completely
the basis for the storyline. Well, so they're at her university.
Wow, what a school. I mean, my God.
Charles Barkley has a special message for them.
He addresses them on the Jumbotron. 100% Peter recognizes him but doesn't actually know who he is. He had that moment of like, oh yeah. He's like trying to rack his brain like, why do I recognize him? I think he was on SNL once. But what did he do? What does he do?
And
then the coach comes out.
I just got to say, Madison can play some fucking basketball.
Madison destroys basketball. When her coach came out and congratulated her on making two Final Fours.
That's funny.
And I was like, this is like an ad for AU. This is like, oh my God. And then he was like, can I tell you a little bit about the Pruitts? Let me tell you about her dad. I didn't hire him because he's a great basketball coach.
Which I'm like, then what?
I'm like, does he suck?
You sound like an idiot then.
Sounds like you're not a great hirer. He's like, but I hired him because he's a great man. And then the way that they kept talking about the Pruitts started to make me nervous, thinking, oh my God, is the Chris Harrison moment a tragedy like you think? Because they really were focusing on like the Pruitts. You know what I mean?
They're that family.
Yeah, it was very much like, he's a great man. He's a great man. And it was like, this is making me feel nervous.
Is her dad gonna die?
Or like,
Jesus.
I don't know. Or like something happens. Or maybe the dad swoops in last minute and goes, I'm not going to give you my blessing. And like takes Maddie away. Or something happening with the family.
That's too close to Cassie's storyline.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, let me think about that for a second. What could the scenario be where her family wouldn't be involved? She was the final one he was about to propose to. Chris Harrison says, we all, with wide eyes, we all just found out about this.
Yeah.
There's something you want to know. Before you do what you're about to do, there's something you should know. That's the ominous line, though. That's like, you're not going to say that when someone like his family has passed away or something.
That's true.
Before you do what you're about to do,
also if they made a family tragedy some sort of like tagline, that would be despicable, and I would quit on ABC, like straight up. But when they because you had made that comment, when they kept talking about the Pruitts during during like her hometown date time with him, it was starting to make me nervous. I was like, oh my God, something's going to happen.
I don't think it's a family tragedy, but now you've really got me wondering if it is her family. Something related.
Like,
I'm going to think on
maybe
this.
Chris Harrison says, I think you should know this, before he proposes to Madison. Maybe the family's flown in and they're like, we don't want you to do this. We think it's a bad idea. And they're like, we just found out. They just arrived in Australia.
Right. So and the thing is, like, Madison would still be there because the way Chris Harrison phrases it, before you do what you're about to do.
Right. So
he can't do what he's about to do unless she's there.
Right.
So
maybe the family flew in. And they were like, we have no idea that they were here, but here they are in the hotel, and they're trying to get Maddie to reconsider.
If they somehow skirted production and like actually showed up,
the whole family, all of them, the grandparents, the cousins,
her coach,
the whole Pruitt tribe, just coming on in.
Damn. Okay, I got to really think on this. You've got my mind whirling.
Something
now.
to ponder. But yeah, so
he says he's nervous about her family, which now I'm like, well, yeah, it sounds like you've got a lot to live up to.
Yeah, I mean, especially after seeing, and then he's also just dealt with Maddie destroying him in basketball, even though he did do decent. I have to give him that credit.
Yeah.
But when they were doing the Maddie showing him how to handle two balls, which I thought was, I'm like, okay, production, I see what's going on. The coach is dripping sweat when he says goodbye to them, by the way, and I'm not sure why. Because he was just talking to them the whole time.
He's running drills in the background.
So now Peter mentions how he told Maddie that he was falling in love with her and she didn't say it back. We have that moment. But he says he feels how she feels.
Keep telling yourself that, Pete.
I'm like, I love it when someone doesn't say it back, but I know.
Vibes.
That's all that matters.
They didn't need to say it because I knew that it's with their eyes. They told me.
This to me, that was a moment that proves that Peter is in deep with Maddie because he's
now trying to justify why she's not saying it.
With all the other girls, he's like, prove it to me. And with her, he's kind of like, oh no, I know she does. I want to believe. Yeah, he loves her.
He loves her.
Oh, he loves her. I was also thinking before we get into the family, I feel for this girl. Can you imagine what her college experience was? The amount of gross dudes trying to how they try to pick up on her and talk about her because she was like the gorgeous, popular, like quote unquote virgin. Can you imagine what a nightmare? That's all I was thinking about. Like, here's this pop.
Oh, please. Her dad's the fucking basketball coach. It's in Alabama. She's not the only hot virgin.
I was just thinking about the horrible experience of just dudes being disgusting talking about.
No, Madison was Belle of the fucking ball in college.
You don't think that there was tons of guys constantly trying to get at her and be like, dude, check this out. I'm going to get her to, quote unquote, lose her virginity.
She lives in Alabama.
Yeah,
I'm not saying that all of them are virgins, but I'm saying like it's not going to be weird for someone or like out of the ordinary for someone to save themselves for marriage.
I know, but I'm just saying I feel like it'd be a nightmare.
Did that happen to you?
Before I had sex? Well, I mean, no, because I was interacting sexually fairly young, so no one was trying to.
Well, I mean, like I was a virgin until I was 18, and I just it wasn't something that it was something that people knew, but it wasn't anything that people were like, oh, she's a virgin. Like,
maybe I'm having
that happens in movies. I mean, maybe it was her experience. I don't know. But I feel like
I'm just looking at this university going, this happens here.
Yeah, because it looks like a university out of a fucking movie.
That's probably what it is. I'm having these like weird Pretty in Pink moments where I'm like, oh God, they're probably terrorizing this poor girl. You never know.
I know what goes on in these halls.
I've seen this on TV too many times.
I'm like, did this happen to your friends that were virgins? Like, I don't remember this.
I mean, a little bit. The ones who were very outspoken about it.
Okay, I shouldn't say it's not like it's not going to happen at all. I shouldn't say that.
I
shouldn't say that.
At college, it happened to some of my friends who were outspoken about wanting to not have sex until they were married.
They're at a party. I'm not having sex with any of you.
Just so you know. But it would get around and like certain of like the douchey guys would be like, dude, and they would just talk just like like this one, like she was an object.
Okay. I shouldn't say
horrible.
I shouldn't say that that's like a ridiculous idea that would happen. That's not a ridiculous idea.
Girl, it didn't happen to me because you know that I was getting it on real young.
Yeah, she's a virgin, but she'll suck your dick. It's just not hard to get there.
What can I say? So now we finally meet the family.
Okay. Her mom's under eyeliner. I'm like, okay, Mary Kay consultant. Whoa. Get it, girl.
That's completely what it was. If her mom doesn't sell Arbonne or Mary Kay, I quit.
Well, I'm sure Madison sells Rodan and Fields until now.
Is that what it is? Do they also do makeup?
Rodan and Fields is skincare.
Oh, well, she does glow.
Which actually, I've heard good things about it. I'm not going to lie. My mom's like, no, I actually buy it. Over and over again.
Oh, well.
Arbonne. Yeah, maybe she's Arbonne.
Her mom surprised me because her mom definitely was different than I expected. I expected her mom to be very much like, come on in, like milk and cookies. And her mom was definitely a little more of the tough cookie in the situation.
Her mom, not that she's like my mom, but she kind of reminded me of my mom. When I was younger, like, especially when she was like, have you let him know about the decisions you've made for your relationships? And I was like, oh, that sounds just like my mom.
Her mom was pretty intense. Like, it definitely seems like her dad is a little more the lovey-dovey one, and her mom is maybe the one who pushes her to strive in athletics and academics.
Maybe.
you know?
And love of the Lord.
Yeah.
Or virginity.
So I have an interest. I don't know if we're going to disagree on this.
What?
In this. Well, let's talk.
Okay.
Let's talk.
Okay, wait. First of all, I was immediately suspicious of the family because they were way too nice, where they're like, everyone go around and say what's special about Madison. I was like,
wait, you didn't love the special plate? You didn't love the special plate?
I'm like, they made this up. There's no way they do this. Nope, they definitely do this every meal.
When they did the special plate moment, I was dying. And I was like, well, I guess I have to do this now at least once a week. I feel like personally,
I was like, wow, that is so nice.
Will I be this good of a parent? No. But I'm like, would I feel more validated than anyone ever if my parents growing up, every single day we had to tell each other what we loved about each other?
Imagine if you got home to your hometown and your family does this.
And they'd never done it before. I'd be like, you fuckers. Fuckers made me go through this my entire life.
No, you wouldn't. You'd be like, oh my, you'd be sobbing. You'd be
Probably.
like, Dad, do you think that? Mom.
The fact of the matter is I'm acting like I'd be like, how dare you bring that out? But instead I would just be like,
is this a new tradition? You guys, the family?
You guys love me?
Are we going to start doing this every week? No, Jess, it's just for the fucking cameras. Oh, okay.
Get over yourself. Oh. Okay, guys.
I was like, must be nice to have a family that's not clowning on you 24/7. Can't imagine.
Don't get it.
Can't imagine.
But
cannot relate.
Can you, when they pulled out the special
really
plate, I'm like, this is Peter's love language. His family would live for this tradition. You know he's taken that tradition back to Barb.
Also, though, a move. They're like, let's put it in front of Madison and offer, like, look at how good our daughter is of wife material. I'm being so insidious about it.
I don't know. This hometown date gave me way different energy than I thought it was going to. I'm telling you, every single date at this hometown for the season threw me off.
I'm giving them shit. I didn't think it was actually like bad vibes or anything at all. I'm just clowning on them.
I thought it was going to be
fine.
I thought it was going to be super uptight. And I was surprised at how low key everything was.
Yeah, there wasn't there. I'm just clowning on them, but it wasn't even as bad as I thought it was going to be. I thought I was going to have way more ammo.
I thought it was going to be pretty intense.
Although they did toast with sweet tea, and I was like, do they not drink?
Well, he mentioned, he goes, this is sweet tea. And now I want to go back and watch. I'm like, is Madison drink during the season, or has she not been drinking?
It was Hannah Ann at the fake drink. Remember the fake drink?
Where Hannah Ann pretends to drink it and doesn't?
Well, I mean, like, Madison was pretty quiet about the whole virgin thing for a long time, so maybe she's just not saying shit about not drinking either.
Yeah, definitely true. I feel like I've seen her drink, but maybe her family doesn't and she does.
I mean, it's definitely a mood to be like, we're toasting with sweet tea.
He declared that. And I was just like, this is either a declaration about the fact that you don't drink, or it's a declaration about, your city.
We are Southern.
This is sweet tea.
Right.
I don't know what you do in Westlake, but
we toast with sweet tea here.
Oh, also with the special plate moment, I did want to say, when everyone was going around and saying what they loved about Maddie, her mom says, you're very tough and I love you for it.
You're just like me.
You're very tough.
She is very tough.
She is very tough. But it was interesting that the mom was, I don't know.
Well, in the conversation with the mom, first of all, she's rocking a Maleficent look and really committing. She's got feathers coming off her shoulders.
It is a full Maleficent. It was pretty intense.
Also, I'm like, is this her parents' room? It was like, let's have a seat on our marriage bed. The marriage bed. And talk about have this conversation.
Yes.
Ooh.
Also, did you notice before she pulled her aside, her mom did say, I believe the two of you both have greatness in your future. And then cheers to new beginnings. And I'm like, what does that mean?
What the fuck?
That threw me off.
Like new beginnings, like
their relationship? It's very interesting.
That's got to be what it's about.
And then that they both have greatness in their future.
New beginnings to Peter's new journey as a born-again Christian.
Okay, I do want to say something, though, speaking about this.
What?
We got a lot of comments last week. About us joking about evangelical culture.
Can I read my reply from that post?
Please.
Okay, hold on.
In the meantime, I will say that Becca and I both raised an evangelical home, and I do not think that there is anything wrong with Madison's family. I really don't. They seem lovely.
With her family?
Yeah.
No, I don't think there's anything wrong with her family.
And I think Madison seems absolutely lovely. And I wanted to say that when people, because a lot of the comments though were saying that, you know, I saw a comment that says we hate Christians, da 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 da.
Okay, first of all, that's bullshit because like 90% of the people we love and interact with on a daily basis. That's what I was going to
say. I was going to say, I absolutely treasure my family, and my family is just like Maddie's family.
Oh, yeah.
If not in certain moments stricter, because if I would have gone on The Bachelorette, I do not know how my family would have handled it.
And this is, it would, yeah. Same. And this is where the criticism comes from. It's because it's a culture that that we're both very familiar with, and that I have feelings about because of some of the things that surround the culture. I just replied back to this comment on the Chatty Broad's Instagram, and it really summarized how I felt about things. Someone said, "Not gonna lie, it kind of hurt listening to y'all mock someone's faith. If it was Muslim or Buddhist, I don't see the same response." And I said just back, I was like, well, first of all, if I had a Muslim or Buddhist background and someone on the show was propagating beliefs from those religions that I found rooted in harmful religious superiority complexes, I would 100% have the same response. I don't have anything against people's faith. I have issues, personally, me, Becca, with Western Christianity culture, which is something Jess and I have discussed many times. It's a culture that praises posting photos of dirty black and brown children on missions trip to show how much of a servant's heart we have. And this is not just a dig at Madison. I'm talking about the culture, a culture that says a woman is less pure and of less value if she has a loving physical relationship out of marriage. And it's a culture that shames divorce regardless of the valid reasons behind it. And there's lots more reasons, but I'll leave it at that. And that's just it. I don't have any issue. Look, the end of the day, do I clown on Madison? Do I give her a hard time? Yes. Do I have any issue with Madison personally? Mm-mm. No. Do I have any issue with people who believe in God or call themselves Christians? No. What I have issue with is this culture that I take issue with for some of the reasons I named. So yeah, make that clear.
And we've talked about it in numerous episodes before, but I just wanted to make a statement that this has nothing to do with Becca and I hating
discriminating against Christians.
And to be completely honest, we don't clown on certain other practices because this is what we grew up with, and this is what we know.
That's exactly what I said. And I'm very familiar with everything they're talking about.
We'll give people a hard time because it's like, oh, we remember that and we're joking, just like I would. Yeah. So I just wanted to make that clear.
Some of it's just like joking, like when we talk about certain phrases like hedge of protection.
Yes,
our families
because
it's funny because we're like, oh, we get it.
Like I see you. I'm
not saying that praying for a hedge of protection is stupid when we're laughing about that. It's like, I see you and I know exactly what you're talking about. And then there's other things that we take issue with.
Yes, so, and we've talked about those. And so anyways, just wanted to get that out there. Never meant to offend anyone that way. And obviously, I think Madison's lovely. Her family seemed lovely. Whatever. That's it. Anyways.
Do I want to see her as a Bachelorette talking about her Christian beliefs the whole time? No, I don't.
No, probably not because of our backgrounds and we don't necessarily. Yeah.
Well, yeah. And yeah.
Anyways, just wanted to get that out there.
And as we see in the preview, we are having very similar conversations, by the way, to Luke P. and Hannah that everyone in America, 85% of viewers took issue with. Uh-huh. And it is painted very differently on this season. Obviously, context of the relationship. Madison and Peter seem super healthy. Madison does not seem like a maybe narcissistic, abusive person at all. However, the basis of the conversation is almost identical to the basis of the conversation.
Even the way that the chairs are set up. It was weird. It's like the producers did it on purpose. I think it's
something important to talk about. Like what we're seeing here and how it reflects on how people talked about it last season. Where
Agreed.
Everyone seemed to be coming at Luke, for his behavioral issues, but also for his beliefs.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Agreed. Well, anywho, Maddie and her mother are talking, and what I was going to say is that, her mom, of course, having the same energy that I think maybe your mother and my mother have, right away was like, have you guys had an opportunity to talk about decisions you've made for yourself? It felt like in this episode, at least with her dad, we'll talk, but between her and her mom, I did think that her mom did keep saying, it wasn't like, have you talked with him about, the truth, or like, I'm trying to think of a better way. Have you talked with him about what we believe? It was very singular. It was like, Madison, these are your choices and your decisions. Have you talked with him about what you want? And I did appreciate that. It didn't feel like you have no option in this. It was very much like I know what you believe, and have you talked to him about it?
I had a little bit different perspective from my own experience, because my mom would always talk to me like that. And it was very much like putting it on you, in the sense of like, hey, I know what you believe. And when she would say that, I would kind of like twitch a little bit, Cause
see, my mom used to always go, well, I don't know what you believe, but what I believe is this. So then it was when we would talk about, sex before marriage, it wasn't ever verbalized to me in a way that was like, this is, you made this decision. It was like, no, this is the correct decision. So have you told him this?
Oh, ours was always very implied, where it's like, well, Rebecca, I know your values. So are you going to be with someone like this? Sure. Which I think, Madison, these are her values. But, yeah, it's interesting because my mom would very much talk to me like that, but it was a little bit different. And so I actually received that totally differently, where she's like, Madison, I know what you believe. So have you talked to him about your beliefs, But I do think it's Madison's personal choice.
She believes that. And then she told her, as long as you're true to yourself and maintain your standards and he respects that, I think you'll know what to do. So
I really wonder if her family watches the show.
It seemed like they did when he was talking to.
You think that's part of that New Beginnings comment?
That's what I was hearing.
Yeah.
And that's what I was hearing too when her mom said, I believe the two of you both have greatness in your future. I was thinking, do her parents think maybe they're going to move forward together, and this is going to be something that's discussed on a national level about Christianity and all this?
It's really interesting because, I mean, Peter was in no way ever pegged against Luke. But when we're looking at the narrative of Hannah's season, Hannah threw her sex with Pete at Luke as the comeback to when Luke was, talking about her not having sex with other people.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of an interesting dynamic in this situation, where Peter is the other guy.
Yes.
Luke is the one who's saying, like, let's wait.
Yeah.
And Peter is the dude that fucked her 4 times in the windmill. So this is...
It's an interesting dynamic, to say the least, because they have to have watched.
I wonder what her family thought about Luke and that situation.
I don't know.
Me too. I'm not saying that just because they're Christian that they're going to be like, I'm on Luke's side, but
because I knew, a lot of people who are Christians who are like, absolutely not with Luke.
But also remember with Luke, when he was coming about those beliefs, we were like, well, we understand where he's coming from because we come from that culture. So I wonder if there was sort of that dialogue within her family where we're like, well, but we are on the same page as he is in this respect.
Yeah, he went about it,
completely the wrong way. He has a lot of issues, but
I don't know. Because I was thinking, I'm like, they have to have watched they have to have watched Peter's season.
At the very least, Madison.
So it's very interesting to me that...
because I wonder how Madison felt watching that.
Yeah. It was interesting to me that her parents aren't rejecting Peter because he fucked in a windmill 4 times or whatever. It's interesting to me. So
do you think they've seen it?
They have to have.
How, though? My parents didn't watch any of the last seasons.
I guess there's a chance, no, but
neither did the other, like... Kendall, like, if I'm thinking of other girls that are in the top, Kendall's family didn't watch it. Cien's family didn't watch it. Like,
maybe not. But they'd have to have known about the windmill now, because they would have at least seen that, because that was literally everywhere during they had to have known about that.
So interesting.
Right? I don't know.
So interesting. I think probably, but.
Well, Peter and Maddie's dad, Chad, Maddie's dad, Chad, have a conversation.
Was hilarious. Looking to me, but I liked his dad, her dad.
I thought he was. Yeah, I love him. Peter immediately tells her dad that he told Maddie he's falling in love with her.
Oh yeah, he looks like a small woodland creature. By the way,
he does. He looks like a little.
He looks like you find him on a tree branch somewhere.
Little elf on the shelf vibes. But he says that that, or his dad, her dad says that it's a lot for him to hear as a dad, and like, how can Peter reassure him? And
he says, the dad says, do you know? Because I believe he says something like, I know I'm in love with her, or something like that. And he's like, do you know?
Well, yes.
Do you know she's the one?
But then dad says too, she's so pure. Obviously, she shared her strong faith and strong morals with you. Do you feel like you guys are compatible? I'm 99% sure her dad thinks that she's shared the virgin information already.
She's so pure. I mean, it could be like she's pure.
Oh no,
of heart.
I didn't take the pure as that. Yeah. But when he said she shared her strong faith and morals with you, right?
I think her family's assuming that she's definitely had this conversation.
Yeah. Until her and her mom had that conversation. I know. I thought he was sweet. He was just like, I think she's a phenomenal young lady. I don't want her heart to break.
Well, I love, like, her dad talked to her about it and was like, I don't want him to put you in a bad situation. And he didn't really give any kind of approval, which I am a sucker for that every time. If the dad's like, nope, sorry, I'm like, yes.
Seriously, I love that. And then also,
I thought he was very sweetly protective of her. Like, I thought it was very, like, it seems like they have such a sweet relationship. And
I completely agree.
And he seemed very protective in like a very loving, fatherly way.
I completely agree. I think that he was very sweet. And though, some of the language was like, oh, for me, I super appreciated that they weren't shoving it down her throat and that they were making it her choice. And then that they weren't pushing it on him. And we're just like, you guys just need to be on the same page. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
Which I think has a lot of value to it. Being on the same page as your partner, whatever that page may be.
Well, we'll see how next week goes.
We'll see how that. So then Madison and Peter leave each other. We see Madison definitely debating, telling Peter that she loves him, or maybe about the sex piece. I couldn't quite tell. She said it was the love piece, but part of me was like, oh, is she going to say it? Is she going to say it?
We see her later on. Like, she is tripping. Well, he said he's falling head over heels in love.
Yes, he's so into her.
And her response was, it's so freaking hard. And I was like, damn.
It's a lot. He also says, by the way, he's like, her parents grilled me. And I'm like, psh, you got off the hook real easy to me. I felt like I thought they were very mellow. You're fine. If you think that that's getting grilled,
Yes.
Come on.
But yeah, sure, her response was like, oh, it's so freaking hard. I'm like,
it's intense. I know, I couldn't
believe.
That's
your response to him saying he's head over heels in love with you?
What
Props to you.
Happening.
Props.
Oh my God. All right, well, let's get into this Victoria date. But before...
wait, he says also, I love Madison in the interview. We can't gloss over that.
Oh my God, yes. Oh my God,
he says, I love Madison in the interview. Straight up.
That was crazy.
She's got to be the one at the end.
She has to be.
She's got to be.
Right? He's so in love with her. So much more in love with her, I think, than anybody else. I think he wants to have sex with Victoria. But I think he's in love with Madison. I think he wants to have
sex with Madison, too.
Oh, for sure. But I think he
a lot.
I don't think he's in love with Victoria, though. I think he just wants to have sex with Victoria.
I think he is kind of in love with Victoria in a very different way.
Okay.
Because I feel like we've all had those relationships that are tumultuous and all over the place and sexually charged. But you're in love with them. Yeah. Not in the same tender, sweet way. I think he is in love with Victoria.
I feel like he's obsessed with Victoria.
Yeah, but also, like, their conversations, even when they're arguing sometimes, he's so, like, in the conversation with her. I don't know how else to describe it, but, like, he's so, like, not even aware that the cameras are on kind of thing, where he's just, like, in it with her, and their relationship, while toxic in a lot of ways, also seems very real. Mm-hmm. And I think he's like, actually, like, when they're having conversations, I definitely see the sexual attraction, but I also see that, like, he's into her.
Oh,
and
for
it's like,
sure.
So, like, I think he's like really enraptured with her beyond just their sexuality. Like, I think he's in love with her. I think
for sure top two is Maddie and Victoria.
I think he's in love with her.
Oh my God.
I totally do. I don't think top two's. I don't think that's a top two. I think she goes home after next week.
I'm so nervous.
I think, dude, they get into fights within 5 minutes. If they have a whole 24 hours of off camera time, yeah, sure, they'll be fucking. But by the end of those 24 hours, it's gonna be over. It's gonna be over. They're literally gonna be laying in bed after having sex, and she's gonna start some shit.
I mean, definitely yes.
But she's going to be at her most vulnerable. She's really in love with him, I think, too. And I think they're just going to implode within the 24 hours. I sure
hope that she's not in the top 2, because that would mean that we'd get her for the women tell all. Oh, actually, I don't think that they're going to do that.
I don't think she'll be in the women tell all either way.
Yeah, because they're going to
have the top 3 normally.
Oh, I thought it was they just don't have the top 2. I get that mixed up every single season.
It's almost always
because we're going to have a whole hour dedicated to Victoria on the final rose, regardless of where she ends up, because of all of her background stuff. It's going to be messy and wild.
Holy shit.
And part of me wonders, will she show up?
I had that immediate thought too. Like, will she?
I could see her being like, no. Yeah, that she just bails and she just doesn't show up.
I'd be like, fuck this show.
I am moving elsewhere in the world. Okay,
I mean, I created these skeletons in my closet.
I am starting over.
All right.
Okay. Well, before we chat about Victoria, broads, whether you are single, cuffed, or somewhere in between, my guess is some of you spent Valentine's Day with a glass or 2 or 5, no judgment here, of some type of alcoholic beverage. If you're like me, it was 3 glasses and it was champagne. As fun as the next glass can be in the moment, it's never quite as fun when you're waking up feeling like you got run over by a bus. And that's where DHM Detox comes to the rescue, a science-backed supplement, and it lets you unwind with a drink without having to worry about how you're going to feel the next morning.
That's right. DHM Detox is an optimized blend of antioxidants and vitamins that helps your body break down the toxins found in alcohol. So basically, it's an insurance policy that lets you have all the fun you want, and your next day won't be wasted in bed with a hangover. All you need to do is take 2 capsules, which, by the way, are in convenient to-go packs, after your first couple of drinks. And DHM immediately goes to work helping your body break down those pesky alcohol toxins so you wake up feeling 100.
And if a few casual drinks turns into a lot more than that, no worries. Double up and take another dose for double the detoxifying benefits. I know for me, this is now a non-negotiable part of any night involving alcohol because the difference I feel is massive. With DHM Detox, there are no days wasted after a night of drinking. Of course, drink plenty of water and get good sleep for maximum results, and always, always, always drink responsibly. Take that Uber in 2020, broads. Please, please, please.
A conveniently packaged, science-backed pill that lets you enjoy a night out without the looming dread of a next-day headache. It's a no-brainer to me. To make the deal even sweeter, DHM is offering free shipping on all orders in the U.S., plus 20% off your order. And it's 100% risk-free. If you aren't satisfied after taking your DHM Detox, they'll give you your money back. You just head over to dhmdetox.com and use promo code chatty at checkout. That's DHM Detox, DETOX.com, promo code chatty.
Well, speaking of V-Day, sex is fun, obviously, but when things feel like they're slow to start or lagging, it can totally kill the mood. You know what I'm talking about. We all do. We have those busy days, hormonal changes, low libido. All these things seem to get in the way of getting things going at the most inconvenient times. Well, Omax has the perfect solution in their all-natural arousal lubricant, O-Shot.
I'm obsessed with this product for so many reasons, and the fact that it's all natural is the icing on the cake. O-Shot contains 8 natural botanicals and full spectrum CBD to use. Just rub it on intimate areas and you'll begin to experience erotic tingling and warming sensations, enhanced lubrication, and increased sensitivity for the ultimate climax. And because it's all natural, it's also fully edible. And by the way, I don't get any irritation from this. Like, seriously, the only ingredients are the 8 natural botanicals and full spectrum CBD. There's no other BS in it.
Nothing. It's amazing. It makes so much sense that this was developed by the awesome female team at Omax Health, because it literally checks all the boxes that I, as a woman, want. Increase in sensitivity, heightened arousal, intensified orgasms, better sexual comfort, no mess airless pump, TSA compliant size, and easy to apply. They really did think of everything. And also, I do need to just harp on the fact that it smells so good. I don't think we ever have really talked about how good it smells, and I think it smells delicious.
Love it. It's because of that natural cinnamon and vanilla and peppermint and everything in it.
It's so yum.
Ugh. Well, whether we're talking self-love, partner love, group love, there's literally no relationship that couldn't benefit from more satisfying sexual experiences. So let Omax O-Shot come to the rescue by heightening your sexual sensations. Of course, we're going to share the love with our listeners. Just go to omaxhealth.com and enter code chatty to get 20% off your entire order. That's OMAXHEALTH.com, code chatty.
Okay,
Victoria. The moment we've all been waiting for.
Honestly, what we truly have been waiting for. I mean, Victoria in Virginia Beach, she starts out with a bang. As much as you don't like her, she's got a cute dog. And I'm very convinced that's not her dog. I am convinced that it is a friend's dog. I think actually I've seen it on her Instagram, but I just love the idea.
I like that.
I love the idea of her being like, okay, I'm gonna have to borrow your dog because like I need to appeal to the audience and everyone loves a lab.
Yeah.
So I have to have that beach moment where he's jumping in the water and we get wet because he shakes us. And I'm like, oh my God, stop.
You know what the funny thing is though, is that I don't dislike her. How do you feel? I think that she is red flag city, but I actually don't dislike her. I wouldn't want anyone I love dating her.
No, I think, I think when she's not being, when she has life going exactly her way, 100%, she seems super fun. But I feel like in a friendship, I mean, you see what her friend dynamic is here. I feel like she's the type of person who if you say one thing or don't do one thing that like there's something that bothers her, it's just like cutthroat. Friendship over, you know, I don't know. Sure. So she's definitely scares me if I'd be friends with her, but I'm sure that I'd have a great night out with her. She seems like somebody who would be like, oh, let's go have a couple drinks at the local bar and we're going to have a great time.
Okay, so like home wrecking aside though, what if these are just issues she has with guys? What if she's actually like a cool friend?
Again,
I feel like I have friends like her in the way they deal with their relationships. That's why I'm saying that.
Yeah.
I don't think they've slept with Granted, but
you
sure
really don't know.
You really
but
don't.
Honestly,
never know
you really
what's
don't
happening.
know. No, I mean, if I didn't know all of the potential tea about her, I would be like, wow, Peter, you need to run for the hills. But like, you know, she seems like she could have a good time.
Right. But anyway, irrelevant either way because we're looking at her romantic relationship.
Exactly. So she has the best date, obviously.
She has 100% like the most fun.
It's the best.
Date.
She takes them to do the old-timey photos.
But she looks stunning.
They both fit the old-timey part so well.
They look so good.
They look so good and so accurate. It's almost like Darcy and Elizabeth, but like the version that didn't work.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
It's kind of one of those things.
And in the Wild West.
Yes. The Western version. But they're like having a great time. It's very clear that they have killer chemistry. I mean, we can all tell.
They also seem like they just have fun together.
They have fun together. Between him and Madison and then him and Victoria, I definitely feel like those are the two that he seems like he has the best time with. And maybe even Victoria, he seems like he has like more fun with until it becomes explosive per usual.
Mm-hmm.
So they're having a great time. She then feels like what she wants to do for him is do a little redo from their last date with Chase Rice and takes him to her favorite.
It's like, okay, she had to find a country singer she hasn't fucked. So,
well, that's all that I was thinking. So Hunter Hayes is playing and I'm like, he looks upset. Like maybe they had sex, but also like, how does she know Hunter Hayes? Does she have sex with all the country singers? Is that her circuit?
And then Grayson goes, she looks a little too excited. Like, is this another one of her exes? Like, what's going on?
Or like, did you meet Hunter Hayes through Chase Rice? Has Chase Rice been lying to us the whole time and you guys actually were dating and like Hunter's his friend? How do we know him? Did the producer set this up for her?
Hunter Hayes though is like another like actual artist.
No, he's like a very
legit.
He's a big country artist.
Yeah.
So I'm saying, so how does she know all these country artists? Who is Victoria?
Well,
what don't we know?
I think that actually must be something they didn't give a lot of airtime to, because it looks like the producers are trying to make a point of like putting them on country music stuff. So like I think that obviously they both like country music, but I think that it was much more of a shared thing than was shown in the throughout the production.
I'm just wanting to know how she meets all these famous country artists. Is Virginia Beach this huge, like, is that where they all gather? Is it like the other Nashville? I don't understand.
I don't know, but they are both just singing along, having a good old time. Peter's being embarrassing per usual.
So embarrassing. So I have tea from abroad about this situation. I don't know if it's 100% accurate, but it makes sense to me. This broad slid into the DMs and said she lives in Virginia Beach, and a lot of people know Victoria, and they know all the tea about her. And what happened was, because people saw that Victoria and Peter were on this date via Snapchat, because you saw people filming and snapping.
In fact, I saw a photo of this, like, during
But
filming.
I guess it was happening in real time because people were posting at the Hunter Hayes date via Snapchat. She said that a bunch of Victoria's, enemies, ex-friends, saw that they were there and came to that location because they wanted to, like, see what was going on and spill the tea on Victoria. Hence, you see Pete's ex come and drop some of that heat. So I guess a few people came out to have this conversation.
This is something that's actually happening in real time.
That's what the tea is. Again, I'm not 100% sure, but that's what a broad from Virginia Beach, who's friends with a bunch of her mutual ex-friends, said happened.
I sort of wondered about, I really wondered about the production versus natural setup in this, and like I think that there could very well be an even hand in the situation.
The way that the
broad, know she's back in town, and people at this point know she's been cast on the show.
Now, what you wonder is, does production at this point know about the tea about Victoria, so they allowed people to snap live what was going on in hopes that maybe it would cause a stir? But it sounds fairly organic, right?
Yeah, which
is crazy.
I know the Chase Rice shit was, again, half organic, where the producers didn't know when they first, which, by the way, this is old news, but did you also know that he didn't know that he was going to be on The Bachelor?
Oh, really? Oh, I thought he knew it was The Bachelor.
Oh, fuck, now I can't remember. Never mind. Just ignore me. But yeah, anyway, that situation was like half organic, half produced. Yeah. And I think so was this scenario.
I'm not 100% sure if the broad, if it was true, but it definitely made sense, and it makes it seem like it's half organic.
Also, like, okay, so basically Peter's ex comes up to him, and she's got Tia and Victoria. I mean, for Peter's ex to be there and to like say something, that also, to me, I was very torn between like produced or not produced. What the hell's happening?
And the fact that one of his exes happens to live in Virginia Beach and know Victoria.
And I was very torn on this interaction, because at first when she started talking, and then she says, like, be careful with her, I'm like, this is so produced. It's almost like they gave her a script.
Yeah.
But like at the same time, their conversation seemed really organic, and he was like, oh my God, you live here, I forgot.
I know.
So like, what the fuck?
I know, I couldn't quite read it. I also, oh, by the way, the fact, I just have to touch on this before the ex shows up, the fact that the song that Hunter Hayes was playing, the lyrics are, I don't want easy, I just want crazy.
I know.
I was like, okay.
Coincidence? I think not.
I think not.
Peter's all singing along like, this is my jam.
They both love the song. This is what we're going to dance to.
Models his life after.
Oh, 100%. This is his life mantra. This is what he meditates on every single morning when he wakes up at sunrise. This is what he repeats over and over again.
Oh, boy.
Okay, so this girl Marissa shows up. Now, okay, did I miss this, or did we not find out that it was an ex of his until he sat down and spoke with Victoria?
I thought it was just me. I thought I wasn't paying attention. That's the case.
So,
which, granted, I don't know how that would come up in a conversation organically. Like, oh, we used to date.
Of course,
you're not going to say that to them.
Hello, Peter. How are you? It's been a while since we were dating. But it made sense to me too, because there was something that she said during their conversation where she was just like, I didn't write it down. I wish I would have, but it hinted at the fact that she was saying like, like, I'm not doing this. There's no intent other than to make sure that you're safe, which made me think like, oh, that's her way of being like, I'm not trying to get back with you, or there's nothing weird. I'm just letting you know that like you shouldn't go there.
Crazy.
So she tells Peter to be careful.
Which that was the part that I was like, this sounds so scripted right now. Like, just be careful with her. I'm not going to say anything else. I'm like, what?
The other piece that felt so scripted is the fact that like he didn't ask her specifically what. It was like if someone came up to me and was like,
I'd be like, tell me more now.
Or if someone who used to be like Evan's ex, even to this day, I've been married to Evan for 9 years, comes up to me and goes, I just want you to know that as you continue on in your relationship to be careful. I'd be like, you are going to tell me everything. Like I need a checklist right now of what I need to watch out for and why. Please. Even if I trust him wholeheartedly, I'm like, what is this ominous thing you're telling me?
Because she was super vague, because she used to be friends with Victoria until this fallout, but she knows people who are friends with her, but she doesn't go into detail about that.
We get zero. We literally get nothing.
Although I'm sure that, I think that after he says, one, that we find out that it's his ex, but then also I believe he says something about her saying that Victoria has broken up a lot of relationships.
Well, because she did say that. She said that there's been, like, her words were, there have been, she's like, I used to actually be friends with her. I've tried to mend it because of mutual friends of ours, but I'll just say that there have been many relationships broken up because of her.
Okay.
But again, without knowing the tea behind the scenes,
you're like, what does that mean?
I would also think, do you mean relationships as in friendships? Because you just said you used to be friends with her and you've tried to mend it because of mutual friends, but there's been you mean friendships
also,
broken up because of her?
Like what? Breaking up relationships? Yeah, I've broken up relationships where I'm telling my friend, dump his ass.
Yeah, sure.
You don't need him.
Sure.
Or, is she sleeping with someone? There's two very different things.
It's very, very different. Very different. One could be, someone causes a stir, and one could be, the other.
Have you ever been in this situation on either side? Has anyone ever told a partner about something you did, or vice versa?
I have had a friend tell me about something that a partner did. My partner did. But it wasn't anything like that was like a full-blown affair. But it was, sketchy stuff.
How did you feel? Did you immediately become suspicious of your partner, or like how did you handle that situation?
I mean, I felt like I handled it fairly well. I trust my friend, but I didn't feel like I went to my boyfriend and was like, what's your problem?
Right.
Like I literally asked. I was like, this is what my friend said. And even though I didn't give my friend's name because I didn't know what the drama was going to ensue, I was like, people have said this. Is this true? And then, of course, my partner was like, at the time this isn't Evan, by the way. My partner was like, who said it? Who said it? And I'm like, why does it matter? Either it's true or it's not true.
Yeah, you'd never, that's the number one red flag.
A huge red flag.
Which we're going to
And so it ended up being true that he had done it. And it was one thing out of a list that ended up resulting in a breakup. But, my thing is, it's like, I'm going to trust a friend. But, have you had that happen?
I don't think so, really. One time my ex was, my friend saw his profile on Tinder.
Ooh.
But then he had this really sly cover up, which now in hindsight I think was total bullshit. But
because I used to have it.
His cover up was like, they had just released this thing where it was like Tinder Friends, where you could get a group of people. And so he was with his friends. And so they were like, so he made a profile.
All right. Sure.
Yeah.
Sus.
But I wanted to believe him and I did. So
yeah, it's tough. I'll just walk away and say this. Communication is key between your friend, finding out why your friend's telling you, finding out what your partner truly is. It's all about communication.
It's also all about digging until you find the truth, why the fuck did he not have more follow-up questions?
This is my thing. Follow up. Like, this is my issue with Peter. Is I appreciate the fact that he wants to communicate.
Details, sis. Now.
That's the thing. Spill all the tea, not just a little sip. Like, Peter, I get he wants to just communicate with Victoria, but it's like, okay, there's been enough issues at this point that you need to find out when someone comes to you and says in the middle of filming, Remember,
even with the Alea situation, though, where, like, he probably should have been like, okay, what did she do?
And he just was like, okay.
Like, it's not about doubting anyone. It's just about being like, what are we working with here?
And then remember how Victoria P had no answers and he was just like, okay. And he just like took it for face value, even though she literally gave him nothing to work off of. You just gotta
find, I think situations are not always what meets the eye. Just don't in both directions, you know, just don't automatically assume that it could be,
don't assume,
you know, like breaking up a relationship. Like I said, it could be getting into someone's head, saying things to the girlfriend. Doesn't necessarily mean that you're like fucking someone.
Exactly.
There's different scenarios. You don't know.
Well, you know, it's just another V-bomb that's dropped. And you know, I'm literally dying that he's not asking more info.
Well, okay, so this is fucking crazy. They decide to go to her family's house with their family waiting inside, and he decides to stop right before the front door. He was basically lifting up his hand to knock practically, and then was like, you know what, let's sit right here on the front fucking welcome mat and chat about what's going on.
Well, I mean, as soon as he pulls up and he says that, you know, she can tell that something's wrong. He's like, we need to talk. She starts panicking, which is a sus thing for me too. Because
immediately starts getting pissed.
No, she goes, say it. She literally, as they're walking to sit on the steps, she's going, say it. What's wrong? Tell me. Oh my gosh. Say it. It was like intense, which again is a sus thing to me. If a guy is like, we need to talk, I'm thinking in this situation, maybe he wants to end the relationship, like the Bachelor version of the relationship. But because of her panicking, I go, all right, there's something going on.
I'll give her credit for this one. I'll play devil's advocate and say, you know, she senses a vibe is off and starts panicking about that.
Okay.
I mean, she barely got the rose last week.
True.
So, you know,
true.
Maybe she's just on edge. So I'll play her side.
Well, Peter starts it off by saying, you know how at the concert date you had an ex? Well, today I had an ex, and her name is Marissa. And it's like, okay, so now we have an ex.
Wait, we actually did know that before because
before in an interview with him.
Oh.
Yeah, in an interview he says that a girl that I used to date came and spoke to me.
Okay, yeah. You're right.
So
you're right.
it adds definitely adds an element to it.
A layer.
Because you're like, okay, are there ulterior motives going on? I know the girl said no, but again, from an outside person watching without knowing any of the tea that Victoria is accused of, is you're thinking, okay, now an ex comes and shows up and is saying something.
Granted, for me, like, okay, I think they said something about 2011. It was like years ago. I think they said 2011. So 8 years.
Right. But she was friends with her.
Sure.
And she's had friend drama. We don't know what the drama is.
Right. So I'm just saying, like, for me, with my ex from 2011, I'd be like, it would be a layer of trust, and I would be like, whoa. Like, I don't think that if you're trying to get back with a ex, the thing you're going to do on The Bachelor is to show up and be like, be careful with her.
No. I don't mean that she's trying to get back with her.
Right.
What I mean is if I'd have an ex, we dated a while ago. Now my ex is famous. Mm-hmm. And now he's dating a girl who I have major beef with. Yeah. There's a part of me that wanted to be like, oh, she won't get him. Mm-hmm. Now she's going to get famous. Like there's that part of you that's kind of like,
sure.
You know.
But I think that as the, like, at being him, he's going to gauge the conversation on his past with that person.
Sure.
And it could be even an added layer of trust where he's like, I know Marissa, she's not a shit starter, and I trust
Oh, no,
what
for sure.
she's saying.
And I think from his perspective, I would feel the way that he does.
Yeah.
But I'm saying from an outside perspective, if you don't know the tea about Victoria, if I'm a viewer with no knowledge, I'd kind of be like, well, there's been a lot of red flags with Victoria, but this girl's also an ex and she's got a problem with her already. So I wonder, like, what does this actually mean? Especially because we're not given any details by Marissa.
Well, here's the real red flag is that then Victoria starts getting pissed at him.
I mean, he gets 2 words out and she's upset at him.
This is what I would start doing as the guilty party. My plan A would be like this. I'd be like, here's me.
Emmy.
Oh my God.
Give us your Emmy.
Is this Marissa? Dude, I cannot believe. Oh my God. Again, she's fuck. Dude, this girl has had some sort of vendetta against me for the past 3 or 4 years. Like, we went to college together. Like, we dated the same guy. And ever since then, she's been out to fucking get me. And then you start crying. And I just, like, can't believe that right now, as you're about to go meet my family, she's fucking this up for us. That's what you do.
I believed everything that just came out of your mouth.
That's what you do.
You literally, like, I just made you Victoria, and I was like, oh, this is true.
That's what you do.
Yeah.
That's how you play it. That's how you play it.
No, she played it
you play
so
to win.
poorly.
You play to win, bitch. If you're in this, if you've already fucked people's husbands, you got to just double down and you got to commit to the lie. That's what you got to do.
Keep it rolling. Sell your part. Oh my God. No, for real though.
She's like getting pissed at him.
Well, the way that she not only gets pissed at him, but the way that she turns this on him and is just like, you're going to do this before you're supposed to meet my family. And now you think you've decided what Marissa told you is more important than meeting my family. And she doesn't even know, she hasn't even allowed him the amount of, I mean, I think I'm like the amount of gaslighting that's happening, making him the crazy one, the bad, and she's done this with him. She did this with him last week where she was like, you're always angry or in a mood whenever you and I hang out. The second he like brought his concerns
She's been doing this since the week before. It's
crazy.
In the night portion.
And now it's like he has every right to be like, hey, what's going on? And she's just like turning it on him. Like I was
typing furiously. He goes, fairly, do you really think there's any way I couldn't address this before going in with your family? Like, yeah, obviously he's going to have to fucking get it out. And I believe that he probably didn't have a chance to talk to her before. They were probably separated until this portion of the date. So,
and then she says, then I don't want to do this.
Yeah. And then she goes at some point, you just came in here to act like this. Whoa, the balls on this one are steel.
I mean, steel.
And then he goes, excuse me. And she goes, excuse me, what?
Oh, I don't know, Peter. What am I supposed to do now, Peter?
And then, he gets her. He says, do you ever fight for something you really want?
That was a line.
And she's like, yes, married men. And from then on, they are in a full-blown fight on the stairs.
A fight.
This is like when you're at Hometown Buffet and you're sitting there just like eating your little soft serve ice cream and there's the couple next to you and like she's one step away from throwing a glass of pink lemonade in his face.
Oh.
This is like, they are that couple.
Also, the level to which they're fighting feels like a couple who's been together for a long time.
Oh, yeah.
It feels like a couple who, the way that they're interacting is that they've been dating for a year and a half and someone cheated. Like, this is what's happening.
Which is part of the reason why I'm like, I think they're in love with each other because they do have this like intimacy and closeness that's fucked up. Well, but it's like closeness.
It's intimacy, and this is what I think I was talking about a couple weeks ago. This is the only way I think she knows how to be intimate, and so she's creating this wild narrative for them that draws them together, and now they've got this special like fucked up thing. But now Marissa stepped in and thrown a whole twist into her situation that she was not expecting. That's for sure. And of course, again. On cue.
Get the fuck away. I'm fucking done.
Victoria walks away.
And she has the audacity to literally be like, get the fuck away from me.
It's like, what do you do? The whole time. I'm like, do I need to rewind this? Do I need to figure, did he do something? I'm not sure what's happening right now.
Bro. And then he comes up and starts hugging and apologizing to her.
I'm like,
so I said maybe she played it wrong, but maybe she played it right. Unbelievable.
How?
Unbelievable.
How? Oh, also twist. She comes back. Now, this is talking about being a mass manipulator, playing it to the utmost. Before he hugs her, she comes back.
I was going to tell you.
I adore you. I wanted to tell you tonight that I was falling in love with you. And how am I supposed to do that? Like, you pull out the card now. that you were going to tell him tonight. And and Victoria knows Peter. She probably knows him better than any of those girls. She knows that he gets a hard on more than anything to hear that someone is falling in love with him. And she's waited until this moment to drop that.
You know what? Maybe I have a soft spot for Victoria because, to be honest, I'm closest to her personality out of anyone on this show. And I'm just going to be honest with that. This conversation was very disturbing to witness, but also I've had conversations about 30 or 40% of that level with partners in the past, 100%.
Yeah, well, that's what I talked a couple weeks ago too about. Like,
I'm seeing it now in myself.
And again, it was this is a whole next level, but it's that moment where you see your darkest self in relationships where you go, okay, maybe I didn't do it to that extent, but there's that hint where you're like, and I'm like, I want to call up exes and be like, I am so sorry I manipulated you like this because I'm watching this on TV to a mass level and this is dark AF. Dark.
Yep. I was seeing this back and forth between them, and I was like, oh, and she's getting exactly what she wants out of this every fucking time. Mm-hmm. But you know what? Time. Even like, you know that how I was saying like that narrative of like, oh, she's out to get me, like. Grayson brought this up before we watched the episode too, because we knew that this was going to come. And he was saying like she could just really play into that and play the victim and be like, these women are out to get me and they've been out to get me. Mm-hmm. And making up these lies. Their husbands are in on the lie. There's no way to prove it. I'm
extremely curious what next week's going to look like when they have their full date together, because you know that it's going to get brought up.
Dude, what if they have some of her ex-friends on after the final rose?
Oh my God.
And they confront her with that. Holy fuck.
I just have a feeling she's not going to, I just feel like she's not going to show up.
Yeah, that was as
she's
well
such
my
a
first
runner.
thought.
She's such a runner that I feel like she's just going to be like, no. And if she does show up, Chris Harrison is going to get 2 seconds with her before she walks out the door.
She will walk out.
Mark our words.
If
right
she's
now
there.
In history, if she does not show up, we'll get about 3.5 minutes with her. If she does show up, we will get 3.5 minutes with her before she takes off. 100. Also, she comes out, the audience is going to boo, and that's immediately going to set her off, and it's just going to be game over from there.
Remember when they made it look like Luke P was walking out, but he really like had a prearranged wedding that he had to leave for, and he had to catch a flight? Mm-hmm. That was crazy. But this time, she's going to walk out.
This time, she's going to walk out truly, because we've all seen her do it. Literally every single episode. She's jumping a fence every episode, running from producers every single episode.
Okay, so let's say he doesn't choose her and all this shit gets revealed about her. Will she be on Paradise?
I think she's going to probably pull a Luke P and opt out.
That would probably be the wise
I think that's
move.
probably a smarter idea for her. But at the same time...
I mean, she seems like she's kind of got friends, unlike Luke P. in the other girls.
That's true. It seems like the girls, at least right now, are supporting her.
And she's a hottie, charming, manipulative hottie. So...
Well, I wonder who she'll hook up with if she goes to Paradise.
Who knows? We haven't seen any of the dudes yet.
Well, she's going to be at Stagecoach, honey. She sure loves... And she will have slept with half of the guys, the artists, already there.
I actually feel like Tyler would be into her, but he probably thinks he's too good for her now.
Oh, you think that Cameron would be?
Yeah, they would look good together.
I feel like she's going to destroy Blake at Stagecoach. Like her and Blake will be like, this is finally my person. He's going to think he falls in love with her, and she's going to rip his heart out.
He's just going to be like...
And he's going to be like, I finally found my love at Stagecoach. Destroyed.
Oh my God.
Destroyed. So that's then when we see that Peter, then all of a sudden he's comforting her, he's hugging her, he's telling her that she deserves to be loved, don't push that away, and then they just say goodbye and they walk.
Then he leaves. So I was like, wait, so he's leaving, now what? What? I'm like, did we miss something?
Is this like...
Did they cut out part of the conversation?
It feels like they must have, because it was just the most abrupt. Gone. It was so abrupt. The fact, like, they didn't have a clear cut conversation about like, I'm not going to meet your family tonight, or I'll see you tomorrow, or I'll see you at the rose ceremony.
Well, then the family comes out, and her version of the story, she just goes, he just left. And the family's like, fuck him.
And her family, like, they're embracing her and telling her that she always has them. They were so sweet. And it was just like, oh Lord, I sure hope that this hasn't.
Remember I said she looks like someone who hits her dad or something when she's like angry? No, Dad!
You're being so embarrassing.
I wanted the Jeep.
But for real, I do feel like her family seems really lovely, and I feel
super cool.
Really bad for them if this, like, all this backlash has affected them in a negative way.
What if they're just like, oh yeah, we know. That would be my family. Be like, well, no surprise there. Sounds like Beck.
Sounds like Beck.
Embarrassing.
She's an adult. She can make her own choices, huh?
Oh, boy.
Well, cut to the next day. Peter is still in Virginia Beach, and
he is shook.
He is shook, and of course, Victoria shows up at his door. She's apologizing.
She actually
about last
said
night.
sorry. I was like, wow.
I took note. I'm like, okay, wow. She actually apologized.
There's a first time for everything.
She repeats that she's falling in love with him. Really wants to make sure that is, hit hammered home before he makes his final decision with the rose ceremony.
When he says, "I feel like you don't even want me to love you," and that was like,
oh yeah,
hit me right in the chest. He had some good lines during these.
He really did.
Back and forth.
He really did.
What was the first one?
And he's scared that she's gonna walk away, and that's his biggest fear.
Well, she walks away literally almost every time you interact. So like, solid fear.
There was a moment in their conversation. I forget where it was, but she was just like, I'm not going to just walk away. She's like, you're acting like I'm walking away. And he's like, well, you do. It was literally one of those moments.
Every time.
It was so funny. Every time. She again is making this whole thing, like throwing it. She's doing the whole, it's really hard and I'm trying my best and that's probably not good enough, and doing this whole victim thing. And that's when she says, she's like, but I can't walk away from you. And he's like, but you kind of do. That's like cut to a romantic montage of Victoria F walking away 17 times over the season.
Since their first night together. Their first night. I believe he says in an interview, like 99% of the time it's great, and then there's the 1% of the time, and I was like, bro, you got your percentages flipped. More like 99% of the time it's god awful.
And then the 1% is burn strong for you too. But my goodness, oh yeah, no, I
poor guy.
I don't know, their dynamic, it's just intense. And then she says the ball's back in his court, and she puts it on him.
Like I said, I think they are actually in love with each other. It's just toxic AF.
Yeah. Mass manipulator with a phenomenal ass.
Yeah, and also like we've talked about before, a manipulator who only knows how to manipulate.
Yeah.
And I think that he sees that part in her too, that like at the end of the day, like she's not just trying to con him, because I do believe that she is in love with him.
Yeah, I think she maybe
is. And I
think
think that's part of the reason why she's so like, because remember we talked about this weeks ago.
Yeah.
Where she was like, remember when she was crying in the bathroom, producer, and she's like, I don't know why I always do this. And we see this moment where it's like, oh damn, when shit gets real, that's when shit hits the fan with Victoria, because she doesn't know what the fuck to do.
Well, she does quite the move by sweetly leaving him with that cute old-timey photo of them, slipping that into his hands before they part.
Which just completes his romantic
And I do want to say this, is that if the roles were reversed in this situation and we were watching The Bachelorette and there was a guy that's acting the way that Victoria F has been acting this whole time, I don't know, guys.
That shit would be crazy.
It would be wild. And it would, and the level of negative feedback that the guy would get would be like insurmountable. And she's getting negative feedback, it would be.
Whose season was it when he was just not that into her and left and she was devastated? Whose season was that?
When Frank leaves?
No? Maybe. No, there's a dude who like is straight up not into her and then like leaves, and she is like thinks she can't go on because
I think that was Allie and Frank.
I didn't actually watch it. I only heard of it secondhand.
Frank was like, I still have feelings for my ex, and he left. And she literally was like, I can't finish this season. I am so into Frank. And they were only like halfway through. But she was like obsessed with him, as was I. I was in love with him.
Who was Brooks?
Oh, okay. Because what's her face?
Again, I'm hearing of this secondhand, but Mikkel was telling me about.
Why do I always forget her name? I feel so bad. Yeah, but Brooks, he was...
Is it Desiree?
Desiree, yes, okay. Desiree.
Mm-hmm. I literally haven't watched this season. This is all just other people telling me, but
Desiree, yeah, you're right, that's Brooks.
That he just, like, wasn't into her.
Yep.
And wasn't he, this is, again, secondhand hearing it from someone telling me about it, but wasn't he, like, sort of, not talking shit, but was just kind of, like, made it clear that he wasn't that into her?
He just wasn't where she was at all. And it was like he was either top 2 or top 3, and she was. I think again, I haven't watched obviously this season in a long time, but she was devastated. And I was like, there's no way she's gonna pick. There's no way that she's gonna pick one of the other guys. She's in love with Brooks. She ends up choosing another guy, and they're married and have kids, I think. So it ended up working out in her favor. But Brooks was like the guy that broke her heart.
So anyway, if the tables were turned. Yeah, it'd still be horrible to watch. Really horrible.
Horrible.
And also, it's still probably kind of would work. You'd have to do a slightly different tactic where the guy is more like, I just don't know.
No, I'm just saying I think the guy would get like way more flack
100%
about
wrecked.
It for sure.
I don't think she's not getting flack.
No, for sure. I just think it would be like double.
Yeah, maybe. I feel like a lot of women though hate her because I think for a lot of women she also represents like that woman, like the other woman.
Yeah, for sure.
Which like the hatred burns bright.
Yeah. If you've been affected by that, for sure.
If you've been affected by a Victoria in your life, we see you, we hear you, and we can talk. Specifically, if you were affected by Victoria.
Literally, Victoria.
You can talk to us.
Please let us know. So back in LA, they're, of course, at a plane hangar, some sort of pilot situation. Maddie's looking unreal in that jumpsuit. Holy smokes.
Oh my God. I was like, I hate that.
You hate it?
Her.
Oh, I was obsessed.
No, what I was obsessed with was when I was like, oh, the girls look nice, whatever. I don't know why Madison's wearing that. Then Victoria came in. And I was like, I'm sorry, someone pull the fire alarm because we have got a smoke show walking in.
I mean, she always looks insane.
She does.
I just thought it was funny that the final two, Kelsey and Victoria, had the same color on, a different cut of dress. And it was kind of this like ironic ending. Poor Kelsey, she sees Chris Harrison and he's just like, great week. And she's like, I told him I love him. So I guess you could say that. And Chris was just like, wow, I don't really care because I know you're going to get cut.
That means nothing from my experience.
But the crazy thing to know is that when all these women are standing there, none of them know about what happened with him and Victoria. None of them know that she did not get a hometown. And what I am dying to find out is that we see next week that all 3 women are in the same suite together during fantasy suites.
Which I cannot believe. I don't think they've ever done this.
No, that's wild. But Victoria wasn't going to bring up Chase Rice. Victoria's not going to tell them that he didn't meet her family. And somehow that might get...
What a fucking flex, though. Imagine how upset you would be at being Kelsey and watching it back and being like...
Oh, Kelsey has to be devastated having watched this. Was like, he didn't even meet her family, and he's going to be like potentially down to propose to her.
Not to mention the shit that she pulled. I would be like...
Oh my God.
Well, I dodged a bullet.
Oh, for
Look
real.
at this idiot.
Yeah,
That's
seriously.
what I would be saying.
Like, thank God it didn't work out.
Okay, so before he even hands out a single rose, in an interview, Victoria says, Peter and I probably won't be moving forward. And in that moment, I knew, they're playing this clip.
Of course.
She's getting a rose.
Of course, yeah.
Rose.
That's when I was like, yeah, no, for sure. As soon as she came to his hotel room, I was like, Kelsey's gone. I was pretty confident.
I didn't know. I was like, you're kind of leading us to believe she might not, but you're also kind of leading us to believe she might.
Yeah.
So because of that, it could go either way.
Yeah, I wrote down.
But then when
she
said, I probably won't be moving forward, I was like, oh, boom,
we know,
rose.
We know. And I literally, you know what I did? I do have to say, it was one of the first times this has ever, typically I try to write down quickly who gets what rose in what order. My guess, I got it.
Nice.
But again, it's
Hannah Ann
3
first
out of
rose.
4. Hannah Ann first rose I wrote down because Hannah Ann told him that she is in love with him, and I think that is Peter got the biggest heart on ever.
Okay, that's true.
So even though I think he likes Maddie more,
he said I love Madison.
Yes, I think though that he is like wanting to acknowledge Hannah Ann for her adoration.
Gold star for you.
So Hannah Ann gets first rose, Maddie gets second, Victoria gets the final rose.
yeet. I was stoked because the
drama is going to be insane.
And I wasn't ready to let it go of it, and neither was Peter.
No. And Peter then walks Kelsey out, and she handles everything beautifully. Yeah. So low key, so classy. She's like, I'm devastated.
Sorry, your entire family put together was less interesting than Victoria.
Sorry, your storyline just isn't going to cut it. But again, Peter says bye to her so quickly and with no tears pops right back into the women. The guy bounces. When he says, sometimes he doesn't even barely say goodbye to these women.
He's like, well, rubbing his hands together. He's like, fantasy suites.
What I've been waiting for.
Fantasy suites.
Oh my God. Well, he clearly loves the brunettes minus Hannah Brown because here we are. And we find out that the foursome are going to Australia, and we're left with Maddie tripping so hard.
And it looks like she's about to pull him aside.
Pulling him aside. And do you think she's going to tell him?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think we see it in the preview from the week before or something where she said like before going into next week or something like that. Yeah. I bet producers are pissed because they're like, wait until you're one night of.
Well, it looks like she's going to tell him on his one. She's going to give him an ultimatum on the one-on-one. So she gives producers what they want.
Holy shit. So which then makes sense of that clip from weeks ago, Victoria saying like she's just now telling him she's a virgin. I cannot believe this is evil and horrible, and I'm so thrilled. They're putting all three women. I cannot believe that is a new level.
That's another level.
New low, a new level of fucked up.
So fucked
They're
up.
literally going to come home from fucking him in the same condo as the other women.
Oh,
unprecedented. Unbelievable, unacceptable.
Shocking.
Can't wait. Can you believe that? Dude, can you believe that though? Like, you're literally going to be the first girl out on the date and then you're just going to waltz in. You've intentionally haven't brushed your hair. You've got bedhead and you just walk in. No, you just walk in and you go, and then walk to your room.
Well, we know that Maddie's going to get the last date. Or
is she going to get the second? She's going to get the second.
You think so?
Victoria's going to get the first. Madison because she
says, I won't be able to move forward if you've slept with the other women. So do you think that they're going to do that before he is with the other women? So it gives him a chance not to? Or do you think that they're going to have her, because she said, I won't be able to move forward if you have slept with the other women.
Right. But that could also be like a, I don't know how to phrase it, but like a hypothetical that's not necessarily like in that moment if you slept, but like moving on to next week if you've slept with other women. I don't know. Like, I think that could be either way. Okay. I think that she could be second because I think that he says something about just being, I believe the preview that they show, I could be actually totally off on this one, but for some reason I got the impression that he's talking about just sleeping with one woman.
Okay. Yeah. Yep.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. He's like, I was intimate with her. I think he says her. He's just like, oh shit, sorry, Madison. I've literally slept with every woman from day one. So this is going to be problematic.
Oh, you didn't know.
You didn't know that was a thing. Oh, okay. Well, this is going to be a tough convo.
You're the only one that didn't grab my dick when we were hanging out. So I just thought you weren't ready.
So here we are.
So because of that, I thought that probably the first one's with Victoria. Because I think they also want to incite shit with Victoria and don't want to like pull Hannah into it.
And by the way, we see Victoria is like, I haven't seen Maddie like this. She's unwinding. She gave him an ultimatum, and I'm sorry, that's disgusting. She's going off, and Victoria's like, oh my God, I'm going to do everything in my power to make Maddie the villain because I'm going to take the heat, and she knows. And she's going to try to take everything off her shoulders and dump it on Maddie and try to make Maddie look as terrible as possible.
It ain't going to work.
It's not going to work, honey. But,
However, I would be pissed, not Victoria pissed because she's got ulterior motives, but I would be pissed coming off of my one-on-one and then this whole ultimatum thing. I'd be like, excuse me, bitch. Let's play fair here.
We all get a shot.
And you're just going to no.
Be like, I have been in a insane home with 30 crazy women for the past like 2 months, the amount of drama that I've sustained, and you're going to try to cut my chance of getting some action tonight? Pissed.
I actually would, though, in that scenario, be like, are we just all going to forget? I would be, ranting in the hotel room or to the one other person, Hannah Ann. I'd be like, are we all just going to forget last season with Luke P? Are we just going to do a redo of that scenario?
I wouldn't be surprised if she mentions Luke P.
Oh.
Brings him in.
Spicy.
Maybe Luke P will come to paradise this season. Oh gosh, this is going to get so messy.
So it's, but I mean, what I will say is it's seeming like he is not going to take the ultimatum because it seems like that's what his mom's crying about. That's what I think.
Okay.
That's what I think. What else is it going to be? His mom crying over...
With the God's plan for us,
it has to be about him being like, she left because she didn't want me sleeping with other women. So Barbara's like,
Peter,
that's God's plan.
Peter, she has the special plate.
Well, and she was the first one that they met. Mm-hmm. So...
Well, and she's been the only one they've met, which was so off from what we thought was going to happen. We thought that they were going to just...
And this fits into Barbara's narrative of like, they went on the first date together.
Yeah.
And this is God's plan. And you have to go after her now.
Yeah. Ooh. Oh, Lord. I think this is the most excited I've been for a Fantasy Suite episode.
I don't know. I was pretty excited for Luke P and Hannah last year.
I was excited, but I was also like at that point, I was so over the constant drama just with Luke P. Like there was no mixing it up. And this has just been a different person every single episode. So now I'm a little bit like, all right, because I genuinely have no idea you could see via the preview what was going down, even though we didn't know about Peter with the windmill. None of us thought it was Peter when Hannah, none of us thought it was Peter.
True.
But maybe we're going to get another shock. Well, broads, I don't know.
I just always, though, sort of dread, I hate the whole virginity at the night of the overnight date thing.
I know. Ugh. No, I don't.
It's just such a, it's always... I just don't envy anyone's position in that. That's all.
No, and I think it's never handled. I don't feel like ABC ever handles it very tastefully because I feel like it's always exploited in the conversation and focused on, AKA Colton's entire season.
Oh, geez. I even forgot about that. God, why has there been a talk about virginity like almost every fucking season?
Mm-hmm. I know.
Yeah, Becca and Ari's was a welcome relief from that whole talk. I have a problem with people being a virgin. Just like when you said, like, it's exploited.
It's exploited. That's my thing.
And then
it's
also
like,
the way people talk sometimes about their virginity is like not okay.
Yeah. I just feel like
in terms of expectations for other people.
Right. And I feel like this, I didn't think that this was going to happen. I thought that this wasn't going to be a season with that, considering how we started off with Peter. But
why not? Why can't it be fun again? Like when Raven had never had an orgasm. Why can't we make it like about something like that?
Or just like, here's my thing. If I was going into this season and I had never had sex and I was going to plan on not having sex until I got married, I would definitely just never tell anyone and would just tell him when we were alone in the room. And then if he wants to talk about it to the cameras the next morning and be like,
but what about the ultimatum of like, we can't move forward if you slept with other people?
Oh, I'm not okay with an ultimatum. If you're going to go on the show, in my personal opinion, if you're going to go on a show knowing that the Bachelor has had plenty of sex and is like known as the character with the condom in his glove compartment, I don't think that it's fair to give someone an ultimatum and be like, I know I'm coming on this show. I think that she probably should know before the season started.
Or I think put it out there like pretty soon on, like as soon as you have like a good, meaningful relationship.
Yeah.
They'll just be like, hey, I just want to let you know that like, this is really important to me. And like, I really want to be with someone that's going to have a similar value in this department.
I guess my thing would be like, I guess I should say
I know what you're talking about, where you're like, this, what are you expecting?
It's tough.
Like you were saying.
That's my thing.
With him in particular.
It's knowing that this is who he was going into the show. It's like you're expecting him to change.
Which like we talked about, I know people got mad at us about this with Luke P, but like from the background info, Luke P and Hannah have been talking about this the whole season, and how apparently she had even said in his hometowns, I won't be using the fantasy suites for sex. It's a different context where this is like they're part of their relationship.
Yeah. And again, it's very different just because Luke, of how he had been acting the entire season. And Madison's been lovely, nothing but lovely with Peter.
Yeah, she has.
But so that's my thing. That's why in this situation, and I don't want to speak into it too much until we actually see the conversation. And I think it's going to have a very different energy than Luke P, because she's just a very different person. But I would say if I was in Peter's shoes, I would feel a little bamboozled being told that the person that I have now told that I'm like falling in love with is going to leave if I've had sex with anyone. I'd feel a little bit, and again,
well, it's a little bit of a surprise too, because that's what I'm saying. If she had brought it up earlier, he could either A, dump her then, or B, consider it when he's having intimate relationships with other women.
The thing is too, with the way Luke then put it with Hannah, it was very like, it was shaming of like, obviously you would never do this, and that was very uncomfortable. If Madison is framing it in kind of a way of like, listen, I really care about you, but who I am, I won't be able to move forward if I know that there's a lot of sex happening. I mean, I don't know. I'm just curious.
Yeah, me too. I just don't get why not bring that A up earlier, and B, are you surprised that he has fucked someone else now on their show?
Yeah. I think that...
What?
I
just don't understand that.
It definitely would have been better. Now, I get that she probably didn't want to bring it up on her first one-on-one because she got the very first one-on-one.
No, but like the Christian conversation they had last week.
Yeah, I feel like that probably, before going into hometowns, it would have been a wise decision to bring that up.
And I don't think there's anything wrong with being like, look, I don't want to put any pressure on you, but like, I really don't feel comfortable like knowing moving forward in our relationship if you sleep with other women. Like that's just not something I'm okay with, and take it or leave it. That would be a good time to do it.
Yeah.
Not for production though.
Nope.
Which is why we're going to be watching it next week. Yay! Okay. Chat soon, broads.
All right, broads. Chat soon.
Bye.